Delvin's Coaches, proud sponsor of Westmeath GA Hurling Championships.
TEG, proud sponsors of TEG Cusick Park, serving aviation, biopharmaceuticals and medical industries across the globe. TEG has been to the fore in the fight against COVID-19 with our customers and partners. A local business employing local people. Visit teg.com/careers to learn more. Wishing all our GAA patrons a safe passage through the championship.
There's a light, a certain kind of light that never shone on me. If I ain't got you, ain't got you, baby. You don't know what it's like, baby. You don't know what it's like.
All new Renault Capture SUV for all your lives.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this afternoon's Senior B hurling final between Cullion and Delvin. You're live here on AirV TV for this afternoon's game. I'm joined on analysis, I get it out eventually, Paula Hearn and Eddie Casey. It's not the ideal conditions for hurling, I suppose, lads, so it's going to be a bit of a lottery here today. Is that fair to say, Paul?
Yeah, well, the rain is gone, thankfully. It was really, really heavy about an hour ago. The wind is going straight down the field, so that's obviously going to be a factor. One team will have the benefit of it for each half as that goes on. But I think, this time of the year, everyone's used to either playing with it or against it at some stage. So, I don't think it'll be a factor. The ground is in great condition. So I'd be really looking forward to a good game of hurling.
Yeah, and of course, they played each other in the league stage of this, Eddie. Delvin came out on top after a pretty inauspicious start, I suppose, for them early in the championship, but they've come kind of to their milk, whereas Cullion have the benefit, of course, of that semi-final win over Father Dalton. So both be going in with a huge air of confidence. Is that fair to say as well?
Yeah, seeing Cullion started slow this year and really have got a bit of momentum going. Hopefully today, in this time of the year, free takers are going to be vital today.
Yeah.
And you're probably two of the best free takers in the county on display. I'm sure Dara Clinton will be on them for Delvin, and Jack Gillen will be on them for Cullion, and they're two exciting players, and hopefully it doesn't come down to a free taking battle today, but very important, I would say.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you. I think an awful lot of it will depend on the place ball, but Paul, we'll be looking for a bit of open hurling in it as well, because they both play that kind of style. They both play that open type of hurling style anyway.
Yeah, I think they'll be going out to perform. No team goes out just to win frees and have frees win the game for them. But actually on that, I think the team that's got the most discipline in the middle third and not giving away needless simple frees, 50, 60 yards from goals.
Yeah, it's kind of a bugbear of us, and we've commented on this in an awful lot of the games. Needless frees that sides give away.
Those two guys will punish you at every opportunity. I think from 65 in, with or against the wind, they're both incredibly accurate, and I think that's what's going to be really crucial in terms of the game, is just real discipline in attack and not giving away silly frees in scoreable positions, and then looking to play the game themselves, set their own platform in terms of how they want to perform, move the ball maybe through the lines.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a bit of a challenge for them to see how they'll cope playing with the wind in particular, because they both like to play open and move the ball through the lines. With the wind, the temptation is to kind of let the ball in early, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, and of course both of them coming from contrasting years last year, I suppose. Cullion in a relegation playoff actually to remain in Senior B, and it was only played this year, whereas Delvin came down from Senior A last year. Probably a little bit unlucky maybe to come down from Senior A last year, Eddie, because they did perform very well in their games at the Senior A level.
I would have expected Delvin the last 3 years probably to get into that top four. Didn't make the breakthrough. Slightly disappointed it didn't make the breakthrough into the top four teams in the county. I think they've loads of potential. I'm really looking forward to seeing Josh Coll today. Love to see him now. It's county final. Want to see Josh Coll. Also looking forward to seeing a Cullion guy, I'm going to lose his name, but Jack Galvin. Mix him up with Jack Gillen. I've thought a lot about Jack Galvin over the years. He glides along the field like his uncle Robbie. Really excited to look at those two players today up close in a county final. Can they produce the goods today? It's vital for both of their clubs that they do. Yeah,
and I think that's it as well. We've been saying this a lot of time, particularly when it comes to knockout stage of football. You need someone to put their hand up and say, today is going to be my day, and it may may not be the guys we probably expect at times. There's always some guy will stand out that's maybe not one of the shall we say, star players on it. I do agree with you. I think young Carl, I've watched him on numbers of kids. I've watched him since he was under 14. I think he's an immense talent. But there's also some great talent. I just said Jack Galvin, Jack Gillen. You know, these guys, they can play hurling and have played together a little bit as well. So it's not as if they're unfamiliar to one another, Paul. Is that fair to say?
Not at all. Like, you know, and I mean, there's there's like Alan Cox midfield, and you know, whether he's matching up against Kevin Regan from Cullion, that's a battle I'd be really looking forward to seeing in terms of, you know, both really seriously good hurlers, big impact on the games that they're in. You know, what way do they actually, you know, do either of them get control of that kind of middle third and drive their teams on and kind of put the supply of ball into the forward line, you know, in terms of Darrell Clinton on one end or Jack Gillen on the other, in terms of getting them good ball into hand that they can do damage on. You know, I think that's a massive battle in the game.
Yeah, and I suppose a lot of it depends on the management teams. I suppose that they're trying to get they've done what they wanted to do, I suppose, Eddie, to get their teams to a county final here, and like no more they can do now. But at the same time, it's been a long summer, I suppose, as such, and they'll want everybody to be up and ready to go today as well.
It'll be interesting to see what way the management team sets up the teams today. In the county hurling semi-finals, both teams played with four teams played with sweepers. Interestingly, in the Castletown Clonkill game, the two sweepers went against the wind. You know what I mean? Like, it was interesting, and both in that day in particular was the teams played better against the wind. So it's interesting today. Like, I think it'll come down to the last 10 minutes. I'm not expecting a 126 or a 124.
No,
I'm expecting maybe a 2-9 could win the game today. You know, a 112, a 114. It's a big score on a day like today, but the extra goals, whoever scores maybe 2 goals today, with my slight fancy to be
and goals might play a factor in that as well, Paul. Like, I mean, on a day like today, if you do get those green flags, it certainly does make your job a little bit easier, I suppose.
And usually they're quite, you know, they shift the momentum of the game, and you know, if a team's really on the money to get a goal, take over a couple of points, you can get a bit of daylight in between you and the opposition from that point of view, and it gives you that surge. I think, you know, when it comes down to finals, it's the team that does the simple things really, really well consistently is usually the one that comes out on top. You know, today's not a day for heroes, today's the day for fellas doing simple things well.
Yeah, and speaking of managers, Ray Gavin, our commentator for today, he had a chat with the two manager, Pat Cleary from Cullion, and first of all Willie Murphy from Cullion. So we're going to go over to our VT with the two boys.
Joined here by Delvin, the selector, Willie Murphy, centre in front of the camera here today. Willie, how have preparations gone in the last couple of weeks for the championship final here today?
Very good, yeah. Great. Everyone was good form.
Questions you're going to ask.
Training went well, so we're looking forward to it.
You had a good run through the championship. You were relegated last year from senior down to senior B, and so that experience has told through the championship.
Yes, it's pity we were down. We were looking here in one game. Maybe we could have got more over, but we didn't get over. We got relegated, but fair play to that. They bounced back, they got together and got us better in the first round of this, and that woke us up, and we didn't lose the game since, and preparation very good. So I'm looking forward to this final. I think we do very well. Yeah,
you brought in a new manager to start the year, Jody Murray. How is Jody going on with you? I know him fairly well from my own days of coaching.
Yeah, when beside me Jody go back a long time when I was above with Castlepower, and Jody as a player and then as a trainer with us, and so I know Jody, a very capable fella, and we get on very well with lads. He's very, very, very good with young lads, so that's what I wanted, and he got everything he could out of him, and hopefully we finish it off today.
Willie, before we finish up, everyone fit and available for you here today?
Yeah, just one. We just one maybe that he might take part, and hopefully with Dean Ellis, hopefully he'll be okay to take some part of this game.
Look at Willie, thanks very much here before the final here. We'll let you go back to your team. That's Willie Murphy, selector with Delvin.
Thanks very much.
I'm joined here now by Cullion manager Pat Cleary. Pat, of course, very famous of past Offaly hurler. And Pat, first time into management here in Westmeath, how has it been for you this year?
Well, it's been good, really. You know, the lads have given me huge commitment, and I've enjoyed my time here so far. I would see it in some similar in Senior B, about that standard standard around the same thing,
Again, pointed this year, the start of the year, like you had to win a relegation game to start to 2020, to end 2021, and then get into the current year. So you've had a good year. You've come through this championship, and here you are now in a county final.
Yes, well, we started off in relegation, but probably in a roundabout way it may well have helped us. We had to prepare for that early in the year, so we had to get going early, and that gave us a start getting into the championship. And then when we had that relegation over us, then we went on the championship, and we had a few narrow wins, and then we had a few comprehensive wins, but look, we're going well enough.
And you had the semi-final, you played it, so do you think that'll be an advantage, having had a competitive game, since Delvin last played?
Well, I'd hope it would be. That was a tough game, and they're always difficult to beat, and we've seen them before, and they're always difficult to beat, Daltons, and we just got over them by a point, so we're hoping that'll be an advantage to us.
And come here, before we let you go, everybody fit and available and ready for you?
We have a few niggles, but nothing major, just one or two full back and full forward are both little bits of niggles, but nothing that we were everybody's fit to play as we have selected them.
Grand, that's Pat Cleary, the manager for Cullion. We'll let you go, Pat, back to your own team. Thanks very much for...
Yeah, and we're back here live in TEG Cusick Park for this afternoon Senior B final. I suppose, lads, the managers have done their work at this stage. It's probably down to the players, as it always is, I suppose. Yeah, there's only so much you can raise a fella and address him. It's what happens, between goal line to goal line from now on. You've been there, done that in county finals and everything like that. So it's going to be. It's going to be that type of a game, It's probably going to switch from end to end, and each team are probably going to have their periods of dominance. But
yeah, no, without a shadow of doubt, look, the way the games kind of go is each team kind of tends to have a bit of a purple patch on occasions, and it's how well they take advantage of it and how good the other team can kind of manage that particular phase. But I think in a game that probably is going to be as tight as this, where the weather is okay, but it's still tough conditions to actually play in. It really comes down to how you manage kind of crucial moments in the game. And, as a player, getting your simple things right, first touch, Eddie will talk about some of those things.
Like, the little things,
things right, I think, are really important.
Like the small things. That has dried off in the last hour, but it was wet. It's expected to be a little bit wet later on. Like the basic things about simple lifts, simple puck outs, simple stuff like line balls, just doing it right at the right times. A free, from the fence that you don't. It's all about the basic things today. Very simple. Fella who comes two hands today instead of one hand. Just get it right today. Get it right today, and be there when it comes to the mix. I expect this to go down to the last 10. Again, some of the players are going for. In fairness to Kevin Regan, going for 2 today. If he wins, sets him up for a county football final. So I'm looking forward to seeing Kevin. Will he drive that on the last 10 minutes when the game is in the metal pot? It'll be interesting.
Yeah, and looking at those lineups, only one change for Cullion. Shane Brahan doesn't start. He's replaced by number 18 Brian Stones. Much happened in the semi-final. He was named on the starting team for the semi-final, didn't start. A very important player for them, and I suppose if he comes on, it may be at a stage maybe to lift Cullion, I suppose.
Yeah, I think the importance of the bench on both teams is really important in terms of you're looking to bring fellas on at different points in the game to create impact and either get yourself back into the game or push on. From that point of view, I think if I look at the Delvin lineup, particularly like Alan Cox, Darrell Hinton, they both played
inter-county.
They played inter-county, but they also played for Hurling, Shinty. There's a huge amount of experience in those boys.
Killian Murphy at fullback as well, another lad with a huge amount of experience and a great bit of talent.
It's bringing that amount of experience and translating it into your performance on the day that can give you a bit of momentum and bring the other lads on the team along.
Yeah, which is the important thing, Eddie, is to bring those other lads into the game, I suppose, as well.
The modern game, is a game of 20. It's a game of 20. It's everybody's going to be required. Like the bench tomorrow. How important will the bench be? It'll be vitally important. Be vitally important tomorrow. Who's carrying an eagle into today's game? We don't know. I'm sure there's probably 2 in each team carrying a bit of niggle. Loads of physio this week. And will they survive the 60 minutes? Will they survive the first 30 minutes? So, the bench, I guarantee you, will provide vital with 15 to go, 20 to go, or after 20 minutes. Who comes in? Can they do a job? And can they get over the line?
Yeah, and we're looking into the stand here, a big crowd already developing here, because this means an awful lot to the communities that they're represented. This is something we've been going through all year. It's great to see finals with single clubs in it, that they're not second strings of senior clubs. This is a proper game between proper hurling clubs with huge tradition as well, Paul.
Absolutely. I mean, Delvin and Cullion are names that trip off the tongue when you talk about Westmeath Hurling.
Yeah.
You know, they're small communities. You know, I mean, Delvin's obviously village, Cullion's more of a townland. But they've huge pride and passion in terms of their club, their identity, the work they've done on their grounds. Both of their grounds I was in this year, and you know, they've done phenomenal work on them over the space of 18 months. Like, they definitely had some lockdown projects going on the side while we were there, and you know, it's great for the people that they live among to be able to come and see them step onto the grass here and really go out and try and represent themselves. But you know, when it comes to going out and playing the game, you know, you can have the pride of the parish and all that sort of stuff. It really doesn't matter. It's about how focused you are in the minute that you're in, and whether you can go out and actually perform. And that stuff gets you over the line, but it's going out and performing is the thing that makes a difference.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Eddie, from as I know from experience from yourself, you know, a county final is probably a different day to any other day. You know, it's not the same as a normal game. There is that added pressure. There is that, you know, you're not playing just for yourself. You're playing for your teammates. You're also playing for your community a small bit as well.
Yeah, you can't let that over affect your performance on the day. Like, I'd always think that there's players who can play in big games, and there's some players who can't play in big games. If you haven't been in big games, you only find out today. Yeah. I'm just looking at the ref and his linesman going out, one of the top refs in the county, one of the top refs in the county, Matt. He'll be up with the play, he knows the game, so there'll be no excuse on the ref side of it. Like, but as regarding players performing, county finals test the best of men.
Yeah.
You know,
and we're really looking forward. It's a game I'm really looking forward to it all. Like, Paul, if you were to go with anybody now, and I don't like to put you on the spot, but if you were to go with anybody, if you were going with anybody,
I give Delvin the slight edge just because they've that bit of experience, but I put a major caveat on them that they'd want to be really, really disciplined in the tackle. Yeah. If they give Jack Gillen a lot of easy frees, he could really, really punish them.
Eddie, I'm going to ask you the same question.
I won't advertise any bookmaker, but I think it's 6-4 and 4-6, and Delvin are 6-4. So I think it's an even game. I don't think there'll be much in it. From experience, Delvin have more experience. I just added up their county players, a couple of extra county players, so you'd have to. But I would not be surprised if Cullion come out with a narrow win. But I'm saying that Delvin probably slight favourites.
My tipping has gone absolutely awry all year.
So a lot of people have been discussing that in town.
I'm going to say a draw. I'm going to say a draw at 60 minutes.
Wouldn't disagree with that, Paul.
And let a better team win. But for the moment, we're going to go to an ad break, and when we come back, we'll be going live in commentary to Ray Gavin and Paul Ahern on commentary for this afternoon's game. We'll be back with you again probably at half time, just to do a small bit of analysis and to look forward to the game. But from us, it's just we'll take an ad break now, and we'll be back with you with the game very shortly.
Sevens Coaches, proud sponsor of Westmeath GA Hurling Championships.
TEG, proud sponsors of TEG Cusick Park, serving aviation, biopharmaceuticals and medical industries across the globe. TEG has been to the fore in the fight against COVID-19 with our customers and partners. A local business employing local people. Visit teg.com/careers to learn more. Wishing all our GA patrons a safe passage through the championship.
There's a light, a certain kind of light that never shone on me. If I ain't got you, ain't got you, baby. You don't know what it's like, baby. You don't know what it's like.
All new Renault Capture SUV for all your lives.
2, 1.
Welcome to the commentary box here for today's Senior B Hurling Final. My name is Ray Gavin, and I'm joined on co-commentary here today with Paul Ahern. Paul, looking forward to this game big time.
Oh yeah, we were just discussing it down the pitch side there, and you know, definitely now you see the teams have their jerseys on, they're going through their last final preparations, a little bit of intense work going on either end of the field, and looking forward to a really, I suppose, I guess a tight physical contest I would expect.
Well, look, for our viewers watching this today that may not be familiar with change of colours, because both these teams play in maroon and white. Cullion down on the left hand side are going to play in a predominantly navy blue jersey, whereas Delvin are in a predominantly white jersey. So it'll be an interesting, just with the clash of the colours for this county final. So a lot of big battles out here. It'll be I actually think this is going to be a very tight game.
I mean, to be honest with you, I think the consensus among a few was probably a draw or a point either way. And I think there's a lot of battles, individual battles in the game. From Delvin's point of view, can they close down Jack Galvin, Jack Gillen? Two dangerous forwards. Can Delvin not give away too many frees and let Jack Gillen have those kind of shots on goal or free shots on goal? And then you're kind of looking at, from a Delvin point of view, you've got Darragh Clinton, Josh Coll, two top class forwards in the forward line there, and Alan Cox in the middle of the field. So there's a lot of scoring potential out there. The wind is strong. Certainly it's gusting a little bit straight down the field from the Dunstores end, and I'm kind of really hopeful that we have an open game with lots of really exciting scores in it.
Yeah, thankfully the rain has stayed away. We had rain in Mullingar earlier this morning, but at least it has cleared for now anyway, which should leave it a little bit easier. Certainly with what the rain that fell earlier will leave the pitch heavy enough. But look, the referee is Matt Shaw down there. He's an experienced man as well, 5 county medals won, and he's playing career with Loughlane Gales. So like you said, looking into that Delvin backline as well, you have experience. Killian Murphy and Patrick Clune, better known as Pikey, playing at centre back there. He's a good old fashioned stopper. Frank McGrath's experience, the two Pinton brothers, right corner and right half back. So there's experience all round. James Clark, Pierce Shaw, again, quality underage hurler. James, he's been around a while. He's experienced around the edge of the square. So like you said, there's a lot of experience and a lot of battles that, take very little to tip this in favour one way or the other.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, so some of the matchups are really interesting. You've got Kevin Regan and Alan Cox in the middle of the field. Whether they take up each other or not, be interesting to see. But they're two quality hurlers in the middle of the field. That's one matchup. Is it Paddy Poynton or Frank McGrath is going to take up Jack Gillen? Who's going to pick up Darragh Clinton? Is it Pierce Shaw or Shane O'Connor? Whoever that corner back is, or whatever decision the team make in terms of how to kind of counteract those, both Jack and Darragh are big physical lads in around the edge of the square. Combating that is going to be important for both.
Yeah, probably a little bit of cat and mouse going on here, I'd say, with the two team selections as well. Will Delvin leave Darragh Clinton in a corner forward? Will they move him in, switching with Johnny Ivory? Will Jack Gillen be the same? Will he move into the full forward line as well, or into the full forward position? So we'll find that all out in the next couple of minutes anyway. But I've been involved with both of these teams in the last number of years, and I can see very, very little, and there's a lot of quality hurlers on view here. Senior B, and Delvin, maybe that was a bit of experience last year playing in the senior competition. Will it stand to them? Time will certainly tell.
Yeah, and it's kind of, I suppose they do have that experience, and last year probably wasn't a great year for them in terms of being relegated, but coming back down, they do have that bit more experience, whereas Cullion last year struggled a little bit in Senior B from their point of view. So, but they're on the roll and the momentum now, and they've been building towards this for a number of years. And are they going to grasp the opportunity now that it's presented to them? From that point of view.
Two managers too, two interesting characters. Jody Murray, Jody's been around the Westmeath hurling scene with Castle Pollard. He was involved with me in a minor county team. He's been involved with Pollard for a good few years. Pat Cleary then on the other hand, coming in from Ballymear Dora over in County Offaly, his first venture into management outside of his own home club.
Yeah, look, I mean, when it comes to the actual game itself, the critical thing for the manager is most of your work is done, and you really get just a couple of key decisions that you've got to make during the course of the game in terms of, do you change your setup tactically to adapt to them? Do you see what's going on and have an opportunity to make one or two decisions in terms of the subs you might bring in, and how quickly you can take that and make those decisions is really, really important. And it's really been tuned into that in terms of what's actually happening in the game, and I think generally the team that adapts better to the conditions, not the physical conditions, but more the conditions of the game and what's actually happening, and gets on top of that and makes the right decisions, has a great advantage.
Yeah, well, look, it's Delvin, the second team to come in and get their photograph taken for future reference, but certainly they'll be hoping to make the quick step back up into the senior ranks for 2022, as I'm sure Cullion haven't been absent from it for a long number of years as well. Went back down, fell down the ladder, but have, with strong underage structure, have come back to it. Look, I think it's time we'll give out the two teams here on Earv TV and let everyone know what is lying out, and we're going to start off with the men from Cullion. And their goalkeeper today is Damien Golden. The full back line, Pierce Shaw wears number 2, James Clark is at 3, and Shane O'Connor is at 4. The half back line, the 3 Connors. Conor Regan's at 5, Conor Shaw's at 6, and Conor Gilhooley's at 7. Middle of the field, Kevin Regan wears 8, and Robbie Gillen wears 9. In the half-hour line, one change from the selected team. Number 18, Brian Stones, comes in instead of Shane Brahan. That centre half-hour is Andrew Connaughton, and Jack Galvin completes the Cullion half-hour line. And the inside line, Jack Gillen wears 13, Jimmy Kelly is the full forward, he'll wear 14, and Owen Fox completes the Cullion line-out wearing number 15. And the Delvin line-out as follows. In goals, number 1, John Shaughnessy. The full back line, Paddy Poynton's at 2, Killian Murphy's the full back, he wears 3, and Frank McGrath's at 4. In the half back line, Dean Poynton at 5, Patrick Clune at 6, and Owen Carrollin at 7. Alan Cox at 8, and Paddy Farrington at 9. And we'll break for our on Naveen, and we'll just finish the team then. Finish off that team. The midfield, Alan Cox and partnered with Paddy Farrington wearing 9. The half forward line, Paddy Kelly's at 10, Josh Coll at 11 is the centre forward, and Conor Dolan at 12. Inside line, Darragh Clinton wears 13, Johnny Ivory at 14, and Aaron Fenlon is at 15. There is a strong breeze blowing, Paul. It looks like, as we look out from the stand here, it looks like it's blowing very much down into the apartments end here of TG Cusick Park. And it's Delvin, I think, are going to play with the advantage in the first half. Certainly you've been out there on the side of the pitch. It's a 5 or 6 point wind, I would say.
It's very, very strong, and it'll be interesting to see how Delvin play with it. Whether they kind of try and get ball into Darragh Clinton in there, or whether he comes out more so.
Well, ball has been thrown in, and it's Delvin the first on the attack. The ball back out there to Josh Coll, and somebody is going to need a new hurl because it's gone in half, and the very first one is Josh Coll. Ball blocked down, it's gone out over the sideline on the far side of the field, and certainly the ash being used up fairly early, but it's going to be a line ball over and just outside their own 20 metre line for the Cullion men. And it's Conor Regan, the wing half back. He's back there going to take it. Conor doesn't get much height in it. Conor Gilhooley is there, but Delvin are on the attack again, driving in. Paddy Kelly driving in towards the 20 metre line, but loses the possession. But a big hit coming in on Pierce Shaw there as he comes down. The referee, Matt Shaw, signals that the ball was thrown there as it was trying to hand pass away. Pierce Shaw, he ran into a good strong challenge here, and a nice easy opening free, you would say, for Darragh Clinton to get Delvin on the scoreboard.
Yeah, this should be fairly routine from his point of view. Straight in front of the goal, it's 30 yards out.
Yeah, just what you'd want as a free taker, as he comes forward, lifts it and strikes it over the bar. We have the opening score coming from the men from Delvin after just 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Interestingly, Ray, now Jack Gillen is not playing in the full forward line. They're playing only 2 inside for Cullion, and Jack Gillen's out more around the centre forward position.
Poke out from Damien Golden, a man we're more used to seeing him out around the half forward line for Cullion, but he's gone into the goals, and from the puck out the Cullion men make on their first attack. Brian Stones, he's on it, tries to get it in as far as Jack Gillen, but Jack is dispossessed. Good work there. Killian Murphy needs to get the ball away and then decides to turn around and use John Shaughnessy in the goals, and John comes out and he launches it high and long and it's dropping down here. Connor Shaw, he's under it, controls it, gives a nice ball out here to Jack Galvin. That's what they'll want. They'll want to get Jack Galvin onto the ball early, and Jack exactly does that from almost 60 metres out, flashed it over the bar, the equaliser. Good score there from the Cullion men.
No, very, very well worked. Actually, Cullion are trying to play the ball through the lines and really move it to hand really quickly, whereas so far Delvin have just been launching balls down, and Cullion just seem to be using the ball that little bit better so far.
Yeah, John Shaughnessy hitting it down here. Couple of players in there getting in around Dara Clinton there. Connor Shaw won him, gets it off to Conor Regan, who turns and clears the ball, dropping it right inside on the 45 metre line. Jack Gillen has it. Jack closed down straight away, but able to hold off his man. Gives it on. Nice pass on here to Jimmy Kelly. Jimmy comes forward, but got caught in two minds there. I think it is fair to say. I think he was, because there was a man inside on his own there, but he couldn't find. He was Brian Stones all on his own, but Jimmy unfortunately couldn't get the ball to hand. The Delvin back line need to be a little bit more alert in there. The puck out is gathered in the middle of the field by Paddy Farrington. Paddy turns, goes route one, dropping it in. Ball broken down inside. Johnny Ivory trying to get possession. There's a tussle there. The ball is on the ground. Aaron Fenlon is trying to get it. He's giving support, but it's the Cullion men that come away with it, and Conor Regan tries to raise the ball there. The ball is flicked off his stick out over the sideline. Line ball for Cullion right back on their own 20 metre line.
Yeah, I think so far that was a fantastic goal opportunity that kind of got a bit butchered between two minds there, but like beautiful play out. Jack Gillen won a great ball, just laid it off, and then I think he was actually trying to pass it across to Brian Stones and just overhit it, and only for that Brian would have been in, he could have batted it straight into the net.
Line ball for Cullion taken, and it goes central off a hurling on to Paddy Farrington, who comes on to it on Paddy, but it takes that opportunity. Again, an experienced man around the middle of the field there, broke onto that as he likes it, and off the left hand strikes it over the bar. 2 points now for Delvin, 1 for Cullion. We're just over 4 minutes gone into this opening half of this Slevin's coaches sponsored Senior B hurling final. The puck out, hanging in the breeze, drops, broken down inside. Connor Shaw, he reacts well to it, comes forward, has the advantage. Referee says no advantage accruing there, and he comes back, and it's an opportunity here for Jack Gillen. He's making his way out from the number 13 position, and a chance for Jack. I'm sure we've seen Jack Galvin with the strike from play earlier on. Paul, this probably is within Jack Gillen's range here in the middle of the field.
Yeah, I mean it's into the face of that wind, but I'd say probably should have the distance from that space.
Jack just taking his time. We can see the field blown fairly strong into his face now as he comes forward. He lifts it and he strikes it. But unfortunately that time no problem with the distance there, so that's certainly maybe a reflection that you can get it. The puck out, taken too quickly for the referee's liking. Owen Carlin had picked it up, but the referee signals to the goalkeeper to wait for the call, for the signal, and John Shaughnessy back in the goals, thought about coming right, and then looks like he changed his mind then decides to go short, gives it to the cornerback. That's Frank McGrath. Frank again, hand an error there, but he gets it on the second attempt. And again hooked as he tries to get the ball away. Good work by the Cullion forward line there, and making life very difficult there for Delvin to get that ball out, but eventually it does come out here, and Josh Call has come very deep, and Josh gets the ball and he gives a nice pass over to Conor Dole, and Conor with a hand pass looking for Alan Cox on the run, but it's intercepted by Jack Galvin, and Jack comes forward, takes the shot, and John Shaughnessy can do nothing, and he admired that one as it crosses the bar, but again hand and errors galore for the Delvin men there, and Cullion step in and punish them for it.
Delvin just forced the pass there to Alan Cox, and it was intercepted, and Jack Galvin just stepped through the gap, and a great point for him. I think this isn't having much of an impact on some beautiful long range scores so far.
Puck out is gathered here by Patrick Clune, and Patrick hits it down. Conor Regan intercepts but doesn't control it, and he has his pocket picked then, and the chance for the Delvin as the ball drops in. It's a dangerous ball, it's a tussle inside. Who's on it? It's the Delvin that's on it. Can they get the pass? That's Aaron Fenlon looking for Josh Call in a little bit of space, but the Cullion backs get in around it, but Josh gets a block and he picks the pocket of James Clark there. Again, doing very well for his side. Josh turns around, but again, great blocking by Conor Shaw. Forces the ball out that little bit further. Josh is on the ground. He needs a little bit of help over there. The help does arrive in. Who can get the possession of it? Aaron Fenlon. He has no hurl, but it's the Cullion man that have it, and they get it out. Jimmy Kelly wearing the number 14, but right back in his own half back line. His attempted clearance is blocked down. Alan Cox is on it. Steps inside the tackle. Gives a nice pass into Dara Clinton. Dara turns, has a look. I don't think he even had a look at the post there, but a fabulous score there from Dara Clinton.
Yeah, an absolute just, good ball in hand and struck straight away, and his radar was in, definitely.
I suppose, Paul, is the old saying that the goalposts never move. And
they do, but you're in a different place every time you take a strike. But that was a fantastic score.
Yeah, the puck out has already come out here. Grabbed well there by Robbie Gillen. Robbie held back as he tried to get that pass away. Andy Condon had got the possession, but the referee has signalled that we're going to come back to the Cullion 65 metre line, and it's going to be a free for Jack Gillen. 3 points to 2. Just 8 minutes gone in this opening half.
Yeah, I must say it's been really open and some nice hurling in it so far. Both teams are trying to play passes now and move the ball into fellas in good position. So it's definitely opened up in terms of the game.
Yeah, Jack Gillen is standing over this one. Had a sighter a few minutes ago, didn't get it on target. This one just a little bit further out and a little bit closer to the stand side here in TG Cusick as he lifts it and he strikes it. It's curling across, but it's a dangerous ball. It's in the net. Great score. Brian Stones, I think the man that finished it to net. It was one of those balls, it wasn't going to go wide, it was in, and Brian Stones, all his experience there, just gets a flick to it into the corner of John Shockney's net, and that's a huge boost for the Cullion men as they're playing against the wind. The first score of this 2021 final.
That was fantastic. Jack wouldn't have been happy with the free. I think he went to strike it low to kind of keep it low into the wind, but he didn't get a good contact on it, and he just ended up in the right place for Brian Stones to bat it into the net.
Yeah, from the puck out, Alan Cox has the ball, gives it inside to Josh Call. Josh shortens the stick, takes the shot. The umpire signals that it's over the bar. Nice response there from the Delvin men there. Alan Cox with a hand pass into Josh Call. Josh looks like he's moved in a little bit closer. He's gone into the corner, I think. No, in fact, he's gone in full forward now at the moment, but the puck out has come from Damien Golden, dropping it, and it's gathered well out there by Kevin Regan. Kevin, the team captain, comes forward, gets this ball in, low ball in on front of Jack Gillen. Jack has it in his hand and he's rounding his man, he's heading for goal, comes inside trying to make an angle, but a great hook on it, but the ball across and it's finished to the back of the net. Disaster for the Delvin men again. I think it's that man Brian Stones again. Well, he wasn't picked to start, Paul, but he certainly had some impact in the opening 10 minutes. Two goals and the opportunity maybe for earlier on for the first one that wasn't given to him, but certainly he's in around the goals and
he's just in the right place, and he's just picking up just balls that actually probably aren't well struck, and that was Jack Gillen again. He had a strike and goals and just kind of dribbled across the square, and Brian Stones just pulled on it into the back of the net.
Yeah, puck out coming from John Shockney over the far side of the field. He was looking for Conor Dolan over there on the terrace side. Ball goes off the stick there of the Cullion man. It's gone out over the sideline. 2 goals and 2 points. 8 points for Cullion men, 4 points for Delvin. Double scores. But remember, Cullion are playing against a very, very strong breeze. The line ball is over there, about 55 metres out. Dara Clinton has gone out to take it. He cuts it, comes central to Alan Cox. Alan gets it at the first attempt, comes inside, takes the shot. The umpire looks up at it. What's the signal? The umpire signals that it's gone over the bar. Nice response again by the Delvin, but Paul Ahern, those 2 goals could prove to be crucial at the end of this game.
Yeah, particularly against the wind, they just give you a huge momentum boost and they keep you well in the game and ahead in this case from a Cullion point of view. So Delvin need to respond and get a couple of more scores on the board and just close that gap and get themselves back in the game.
Damien Golden with a long strike, dropping it down right into the centre half forward position, but it's the Delvin that are on the break. Paddy Farrington just tries to flick it out to a player here. He's gone after it again, but again kicks it forward again, but manages to kick it down as far as a Cullion man, and Conor Shaw, and Conor doesn't get the ball at the first attempt, and half blocked down, and the ball spins across, and Dara Clinton's on it again. Dara shortens the stick, takes the shot, but unfortunately for Dara, not on target this time. He was under pressure. Seems to be changes all around the place. Dara Clinton, is he gone to centre forward? Josh Call gone into the full.
Yeah, Dar's been out centre forward now for the last couple of minutes, Ray, and Josh Call is more in in the full forward position.
Yeah, from the puck out again. It's the Delvin men, they're on the breaking ball. The ball is given inside. Aaron Fenlon goes high, but he doesn't hold on to it. And Cullion have the bodies there. That Shane O'Connor, Shane's strike not the best, but he does find a teammate, and the ball driven in long here, batted away out of the Delvin defence. Who's on it? Owen Fox. He's trying to get it. Can't get it into his hand at the first attempt. Delvin men have the bodies and have the numbers around, and they come out. Nice short pass out to Dara Clinton. Dara turns, blocked down. Great blocking there by Robbie Gillen. One of the features of the game. We've had 6 or 7 blocks already. Robbie gets it this time, fires it inside, goes in over the top. And the foot race here. Who's on it again? Jack Gillen onto the breaking ball. And
that is unbelievable. 3 breaking balls, 3 goals.
Yeah, the Delvin defence very jittery in there. I think it was Frank McGrath, was it, and Killian Murphy. None of them dealt with it, and the ball breaks, and Jack Gillen is on it in a flash and off the ground, crashes it to the back of the net. And certainly Cullion hungry for goals here in this game, and that Delvin inside line certainly need to tighten up. We look down at the management down here.
I have to say, I mean, in the first 15 minutes that we're almost at now, Ray, like the work rate out of Cullion, particularly their forwards when they're not in possession, is much higher than Delvin at this stage.
Yeah, the amount of
turnovers, blocks
and everything. That's what managers look for. This time it's pucked out straight into the hands of Jack Galvin. Jack doesn't look around, fires it in where it's 1-on-1. Brian Stones is in there again, almost got it in his hand. He's gone to the ground.
Penalty.
Referee is signaling that it's a penalty, and certainly the number 18. He's in there, usually 1-on-1 on the full back there, Killian Murphy, and Killian fouled him and it's gone to ground. And we have a
Brian Stones is causing awful problems for Delvin inside there. Every ball that goes in, it's definitely, there was a long ball in. Brian Stones is competing for it, and I think it was with Killian Murphy, and Brian Stones is pushed to the ground, and it's a penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. Who's going to take it?
For a fella who wasn't lined out in the programme, he's having a serious impact. So two goals and a penalty won.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it'll be. Jack Gillen is standing there. He's waiting. It looks like there's an injury to the Delvin goalkeeper. Don't know what happened there. Is he just trying to put a little bit more pressure on Jack as he has to stand and wait for this penalty? But certainly it's been an absolutely perfect start for the men from Cullion, and certainly couldn't have dreamed of it. But Brian Stones, an inspired substitution, well, not a substitution, but an inspired selection to start him in there on the square. And we'll watch now as Jack Gillen has got the word from the referee to get ready to take this penalty. Comes forward, he lifts it, he strikes it, and it's in the roof net. A great finish there, never in doubt. Jack Gillen, that's one thing, he's an expert free taker, and it's only 6 scores, but 4 of them are goals, so 14 points now. 4 goals and 2 points for the Cullion men, and 5 points for Delvin.
We were saying before the games goals might be important. I don't think any of us in the pre-match analysis thought there'd be 4 goals in the first quarter.
The puck out, short one there from John Shaughnessy, straight only as far as Jack Gillen, and Jack just turns around and nonchalantly sticks it over the bar. The scoreboard ticking away as we come towards the first water break, and certainly the Delvin men, they're certainly waiting for this water break to come, because they need to shake themselves and get into this game. But the puck out has gone centred, looking for Josh Call. Josh grabbed in the air there by Robbie Gillen. Again, Robbie, his puck was blocked down, and Dara Clinton moves on to it. Dara comes forward, takes a strike off the right hand, but straight into the hands there of Damien Gold, and Damien comes out, but again his attempt at clearance is blocked down. Paddy Kelly is trying to get on to it, but Shane O'Connor, Shane has been bottled down, does very well not to overcarry it. He has support there on the far side of the field. Who's able to get the possession? It's the Delvin trying to, but again can't get it to hand. Johnny Ivory, Jack Galvin, he's right back in his own cornerback position there, and he comes forward with the ball on a long relieving clearance down the far side of the field. But Patrick Clune, he's in space but blocked it down and almost was robbed, but Patrick recovers well and he comes forward with it, looking for runners to come off the shoulder, and then spins around and with the right hand switches the play over into this corner. There's a foot race here. Push on the back there. Was there? No, to the referee. The Delvin supporters are looking for it, but the ball is in there. They're tussling for it. Johnny Ivory's gone to the ground. James Clark is in there tussling with him. Again, flicked off the hurl of the Delvin man there. It's gone out over the sideline. It is going to be a line ball for Delvin. Alan Cox going to take this, and certainly Cullion with a great start, and Delvin very much shell shocked with that opening there, 4 goals inside the opening 15 minutes.
Oh no, absolutely, and you know they just really need the water break now to reset and reorganise themselves. I would expect that'll be coming up shortly if this one goes dead.
Yeah, Alan Cox cuts it in, but again, they're great when they go over the bar, but when they go like that, then it just brings a groan of desperation from the teammates and supporters. And you got it right, Paul. The first water break comes here, and we have a scoreline of 4 goals and 3 points for Cullion. The Delvins 5 points, 15 points to 5, 10 points. You know, as we head into the second quarter, and Delvin playing with the aid of a strong breeze, need to get that scoreboard moving and need to get it moving fast.
Yeah, I think it kind of illustrates sometimes the disadvantage of playing with a big wind behind you, that you're kind of, you feel almost you have to take advantage of it and hit the ball long. And Cullion are actually sitting back a bit in defence, and you know, I think particularly Conor Shaw isn't staying out around the middle. He's more on the top of the D, almost like a sweeper, and he's picking up an awful lot of loose ball. And I think really the platform that Cullion are getting, I know like Jack Gillen and Brian Stones will get the headlines for 4 goals between the two of them, but Conor Shaw, Robbie Gillen, Jack Galvin are picking up mountains and mountains of loose ball and turning over mountains and mountains of ball, and their work rate, those 3 guys, is giving Cullion the platform that they're using the ball, putting it in intelligently, and Delvin aren't coping with that in the full back line. Every time the ball goes in there, it's like panic stations.
Yeah, and the space galore in there for them to exploit it as well. And you know, like you said, we've seen it there. Robbie Gillen sitting back in almost as the orthodox centre back, and Jack Galvin over on the far side of the field, and he clearing ball from the end line. So you know, Cullion have really hit the ground running. The play will resume with the puck out for Damien Golden back in on our.
I see Josh Coll's come back out centre forward, and Dara Clinton's come back into the full forward line. So I think Delvin recognise the need to get ball winning happening in the full forward line and hopefully start getting some scores on board.
Yeah, look at Paul, we've seen momentum switching at the end of these water breaks, but certainly Delvin will be looking for a major swing in this one. Puck out has come from Damien Golden. Out to the centre it goes, broken down, but it's the Cullion men that are sharper. Again, well intercepted, and the ball, again, great blocking down here. Delvin trying to get the pass away, but everything they're doing is being intercepted, and this time it is again Robbie Gillen coming forward. Robbie off his left hand, fires it in again, broken inside, picked up here by Jack Gillen. Jack has a look at the post, and you can't give Jack Gillen that kind of time. 2 goals and 2 points now to his name. Yeah, you know, and he's a danger man.
It's a lovely pass inside. He actually lost possession, but just picked it up straight away, and he was in loads of space that he could just pop it over the bar.
But we're looking in there and see 1-on-1 in there in front of the Delvin goals, and certainly Cullion have really done well out of that and made hay out. The puck out is over around the 65 metre line. Jack Galvin is trying to get on it. He's flicked it back into a little bit of space, and he has a look up and has time to fire that ball into space. But this time Killian Murphy is coming out for it, he doesn't get it, but Patrick Clune making his way back. But again, Patrick had done well, he was the centre half back, but Killian Murphy committed himself there onto a ball, trying to get it in front of
Brian
Stones, but Brian just got it inside him. But lucky enough for the Delvin men, they had the numbers coming back, and danger snuffed out, and the free is taken and it's gone down the far side of the field. But again, the Cullion men on possession. Conor Regan with a hand pass off to Jack Galvin. Jack, route 1, dropping it in here. Jack Gillen has it in his hand again. Great work there from the big number 13, and he takes the shot away, but I think the referee is playing the advantage, and certainly Paddy Poynton, they've made a switch there to try and curb the influence of Jack Gillen, but it hasn't worked so far because foul committed there, and I'm sure Jack will take this free again and just push that lead out that little bit further.
Yeah, I think there's kind of contrast and differences. Pierce Shaw is doing quite well on Dara Clinton. You know, Dara's scored a couple of nice points, one from play and one from frees, but you know, his impact, whereas if you look at Jack Gillen's impact, you know, both through his frees and his open play, he's having way more of an impact on the game, and really Delvin need to kind of make some changes there in terms of trying to snuff out the threat he's presenting.
Yeah, Jack is ready again with this free. It's just outside the 20 metre line as he comes forward now, bends, he lifts, and he strikes and he fires it over the crossbar. Another score for the Cullion men. Jack Gillen, 2 goals now and 3 points to his name. John Chocknessy knocked the lane with the puck out, but again it's the Cullion backs that are alert to it. It's picked up there by Conor Regan, very close to the side, and Owen Fox, he's out in front of his man, gives a little hand pass to the man on the run. That man is Jack Galvin. Jack dispossessed there, and Alan Cox steps in with the ball. He sorted it coming across his own 65, and then a ball trying to get it in front of Johnny Ivory. Johnny, was he being fouled? No, was it the referee? Johnny is not too happy. The Cullion or the Delvin supporters are not too happy, but the ball is being cleared out, and Paddy Farrington has it again. Shovel pass over to the man in space on the far side. That's Conor Dolan. Conor takes the shot, but again doesn't get the distance on it, and straight into the hands there of Damien Golden, and Damien fires it out, and it's gathered well out here by Kevin Regan. Kevin comes forward and takes a shot, and it's fired over the bar. The team captain, a beautiful score there. Remember, he has a senior football final to look forward to next weekend with St. Lomans, but a great score from the team captain there. The puck out towards Dara Clinton, but again 2 backs, sometimes 3, and Dara fouled this time as well. But you can see it, Paul, every time Dara goes to the ball there's 2 or 3 Cullion players around, as you would expect them. They know where the danger is.
Absolutely, and Dara's just been drawn out the field to try and get on the ball, and as a result, whenever he's getting the ball he's in traffic, and Cullion are working so hard off the ball in terms of their chasing, their hooking, their blocking, their tackling. It's phenomenal to watch.
Yeah, Dara's taking this one, he's dropping it in, but is it on target? It is actually. I thought that one was out to the left of the post, but the umpire is down there beside it. He signals that's gone over the bar. 4 goals and 5 points now for Cullion, 6 for the Delvin men. That's Damien Golden again playing against the wind, so he'll fire it over to the far side, dropping down. But again, it's the Cullion men that they're Delvin, they reacted first, but again Cullion working hard. A little bit of a high flick there. Was it on the ball, was it on the player? But a little bit dangerous there, and the referee signalled it is going to be a free. I think the foul on Dean Poynton over there, but a free is going to be for Delvin, and it's almost in the middle of the field here, and certainly they need to get a run of scores, Paul, and try and build up a little bit of momentum before we get to the half-time whistle.
Yeah, no, definitely they just need to start tacking over a few points and give themselves a bit of a platform that they can build on for the second half.
Dara Clinton has fired that one over the bar. That's his 4th point now, 7 for Delvin. But Cullion, with those 4 goals, still well in the lead, a comfortable lead, as Damien Golden again pleads for his players to move. Someone make a move or someone go wide for it as he comes forward, and he fires it low, and the man that's in the space over there is Conor Regan, but Conor dallied a little bit too much on the ball, and the Delvin men are in. Alan Cox now has come on, and he's heading towards the 20-metre line, goes on to his left hand, and
blocked.
Good blocking. I think it was Kevin Regan that didn't buy the dummy there, and he stood up to it and got the block on it. But you would expect a man like Alan Cox to get more venom, that get a better strike on that, because there was certainly a goal opportunity, and they need to be taken anytime they get them.
That was a fantastic opportunity. He cut through with great pace, and Kevin Regan got across and got a stick on it, but it didn't look like there was a lot of power in the shot, to be honest, and you really need to be driving them from there.
Yeah, Dara Clinton has hit the 65, and he's hit it over the bar, and just keeping that scoreboard ticking along. Dara from frees and a couple from play, but again Cullion with the puck out. Damien Golden, who's on it? Alan Cox had the chance to get them, but it's picked up then by Dean Poynton. Dean gives it inside to Paddy Farrington. Paddy has a look at the post. Paddy takes the shot, and Paddy fires it over the bar. That's his 2nd point.
I think Ray's noticed in the last 4 or 5 minutes Delvin are getting on top and winning all those puck-outs, and it's given them a platform where they begin to either pick off those frees or like Paddy's score there from play and so on. It's given them a nice bit of momentum coming into half-time.
Yeah, 26 minutes on the clock as Damien Golden, he'll settle things down. No rush now to come forward this. The breeze is strong. You can see somebody's puck out just about making his own 65. This time he connects well, but it gets it into the half-forward position. The ball batted down in the air, and Alan Cox is on the breaking ball. He's trying to get away from a couple of Cullion men. Flicks it down the line, and then the ball flicked inside to nobody in protector. But it is won then by Pierce Shaw. Pierce very close to the side. Takes on his man. Good shoulder chip there by Josh Call, then put the man out over the side, and it is going to be a line ball. This line ball is going to be for Delvin. It's about 48-49 metres out from the goals. Alan Cox needs to get this one into on front of the square. Dara Clinton being told to move on inside as Alan looks up and sees what's available inside in front of him, looking back to see if there's anything short, and then he clips it in. It's a nice ball. It's dropping in, looking for Dara Clinton. Dara's hand is in the air. The ball is on the ground. Again, brought away from a little bit further from the danger area by the Cullion men, and they come forward, but again runs into a heavy tackle with Jimmy Kelly there, and the possession turned over. Josh Coll moves it on to Paddy Farrington, but Paddy smothered well there by Conor Gilhooley. Tries to get the shot away over the shoulder, but again half blocked down straight into the hands of Robbie Gill, and Robbie launches it out of the fence, but Patrick Clune, he's on the breaking ball, coming forward, turns around on his right hand, fires it across into the centre. Who's on the it's Conor Shaw. He's the first man to react to it, gets it up but doesn't hold on to it, and it's the Delvin men to step in. Josh Coll trying to get it into his hand, but again sheer volume and numbers back there into the fence, and Conor Shaw does very well, gets it out to his captain Kevin Regan. Kevin, long ball very close to the sideline. It's out over the sideline, right back, but it's right out in the Delvin half of the field. It's going to be a line ball. Alan Cox coming back. Frank McGrath thought about taking it, but
if they can tag on a few more scores right before half time, it'll give them something kind of a fill up going into half time. They can come out and have something to chase in the second half.
28 minutes on the clock here, and this line ball is going to be taken by Alan Cox. Alan cuts it, good ball, looking for Josh Coll. I think a couple of players lost the ball in the sun there, and it breaks inside, but it's the Cullion men that react first on the break, and a nice relieving clearance here, batted down there by a couple of different players, but Brian Stones is out on it. He pulls with Frank McGrath. Frank does well to get the block, but Owen Fox, he scoops it on, and Jimmy Kelly has it on now to Kevin Regan. Kevin with a player inside, takes a good shoulder there, stood up, but again they have the possession. It's back out with Kevin Regan. Kevin with the shot, it's looping in. John Shaughnessy knows it's not going to go out over the end line. Jack Gillen is trying to pick his pocket. The ball is inside, no one able to get possession, and Jack Gillen rolls it up. Jack comes around, and then a shot over the shoulder. Oh, it's over the bar. It was a super score, but I actually thought it was going to drop in under the crossbar. There was no one in the goals. John Shaughnessy had come out.
I saw the net move. The ball landed on the back of the net. I thought it was in the net.
And certainly, every time that ball goes in there, Paul, they've had four. Brian Stones had a great chance if the execution had been better. That time, almost another goal. But Dara Clinton is trying to get on the ball down at the other end of the field. But again, two Cullion men around him as he takes a shot, trying to get it into Johnny Ivory. Johnny lets the ball run by him, but the goalkeeper came out on there, but he has support there, and the Cullion backs, and that Robbie Gillen sweeping up everything back in there, gives it on now to Andy Connaughton. Andy, he's wearing number 11, gives it down the line, ball broken down, and Owen Fox trying to get possession. Three Delvin men around him, but again Cullion are in fight, and they eventually win the possession. Jimmy Kelly trying to flick it out into a little bit of space, and then Jack Galvin steps in, and Jack has the ball. He's heading for the Delvin 45, comes forward, and he's on the 20-metre line, probably has a chance to take the score. Is he going for more? He takes the shot, and a little bit wasteful there by Jack. The point was there for the taking.
That was going to be a difficult goal chance, even if he broke through without being tackled there. If he just popped it over the bar, keep the scoreboard ticking, and just keep them ahead.
Yeah, the call has come for 2 minutes of additional time as the puck out goes short, and Alan Cox is on it again, and Alan too many steps, and the referee right in front of him there, and can't disagree with that, and the free is going to be for the Cullion men, probably 60 metres, just less than 60 metres out, very central, and I'm sure Jack Gillen will be out to take this one, and indeed he has the ball in his hand. This one is central, and an opportunity as we come up to the half-time whistle for the Cullion men to get the final score. But certainly Jack Gillen, 2 goals and 4 points to his name. He's been unsung for his team. Again, a young player, made the breakthrough, was on the under-20 team this year, on the county senior panel for a while as well, as he comes forward and he fires it into the wind, and he fires it over the bar. Great score there, and certainly Jack has been showing top quality form for his team here, certainly today anyway.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it was interesting. We were actually talking about the importance of frees during this game, and that's only the second free Jack has scored in the whole game, but yet he's on 2-5, I make it. which shows you the impact he's had in the game from general play.
He had a puck out again, one by the Cullion men inside. There's another great chance. Jack Gillen is on it again, and Jack with a hat-trick inside the opening half of the game. There was never in doubt once that ball broke inside and he got it into his hand. Gave John Shaughnessy absolutely no chance, and he fires it to the back of the net and really pushed the score line. Matt Shaw, it looks like he is calling for the ball at the end of the first half. And certainly, Paul, half-time scoreline there, I think certainly not one that Delvin went, but it is a huge opening half. 5 goals in that opening half for the Cullion men, and Delvin, I think it's fair to say, are shell-shocked.
Oh no, I can only imagine, particularly with that golden point just before half time. That's really Delvin were getting a bit of momentum coming back into the game, and then a golden point just there to finish from Cullion, which kind of just put the nail back in the coffin a little bit. So Delvin have some serious regrouping to do to get back into this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at Paul, we'll take a break here at half time. We're going to have some inside analysis after, but it's a half-time scoreline of 5 goals and 8 points to Cullion, to Delvin's 9 points.
Sevens Coaches, proud sponsor of Westmeath GA Hurling Championships.
TEG, proud sponsors of TEG Cusick Park, serving aviation, biopharmaceuticals and medical industries across the globe. TEG has been to the fore in the fight against COVID-19 with our customers and partners. A local business employing local people. Visit teg.com/careers to learn more. Wishing all our GA patrons a safe passage through the championship.
There's a light, a certain kind of light that never shone on me. If I ain't got you, ain't got you, baby. You don't know what it's like, baby. You don't know what it's like.
All new Renault Capture SUV for all your lives.
Yeah, we're here at TG Cusick Park after what has been a very eventful, shall we say, first half. 5 goals for Cullion in the opening 30 minutes, Paul, and each one of them possibly slightly mistakes by the Delvin defence, who surely must be shell-shocked at this stage.
Now, I think first thing is the 3 of us need to be sacked from analysis, because we were saying goals might win the game. We might see 1 or 2 goals in the course of the game, and frees are going to be really important.
We've had 2 frees.
We've had Cullion scored 2 frees, Shackleton scored 2 frees, and yet he's on 2-5, 2-6 in the first half. And yeah, I mean, I think probably 4 out of 5 goals really came from panic stations in the Delvin defence. Like, good ball in, but really ball they should be coping with. And Brian Stones for the first 2 ones just got on loose ball and just finished it from the net, essentially. Jack Gillen's been probably the most influential player on the field, certainly from a scoring point of view, but every time the ball gets in his hand, there's really a score coming out.
Yeah, and Eddie, look, we can say what we like about getting your defensive system, but it was surely just the blitzkrieg that Cullion came at them, and 5 expertly finished goals. Let's be honest about that.
5 expertly finished goals against the wind. It looks like there's a chance of a goal every time the ball goes in. Really impressed the way Jack Galvin started the game. 2 smashing points against the wind, straight away running at the defence. And look, when it goes inside,
there looked to be only one winner of the ball every time.
Jack Gillen's going for the net. He's been told before the game, the chances on you go for 3 points all the time.
3-5 I have him on it.
There was no way. We said up there in Co-Com that he was going to stitch the penalty.
Yeah.
And now it's about Delvin need goals, and need goals from the get-go.
Well, they need to settle down, Eddie. They haven't settled at all.
All Cullion needs to do, Paul, is keep the scoreboard ticking. Keep the scoreboard ticking, a point every couple of minutes, and the game is home and dry. Delvin need to go all out for goals and get their defence.
Yeah, we're just looking
defence sorted out.
We're just looking at the goals on replay at the moment now. Very, very sloppily conceded goals, but at the same time, you have to have somebody there to finish them off, lads. Simple as that.
True, but I think, Paul, when you were watching the game, you could see how Cullion were set up to play against the wind. They played quite deep. They didn't play with a sweeper, but they played quite deep. Everyone kind of dropped back one. They played two inside. So when they got the ball up there was lots of space for fellas to operate in, and there were really, really good crisp passes in an awful lot of the time. There was no real hit and hooks. Whereas when I was looking down the Delvin end, there were 7, 8, 9 players in around the 14, 21 in the D space. And like even if they got the ball in there were so many bodies around, they're always going to get turned over. So they need to, like, they'll have an opportunity, Delvin, against the wind to probably have a bit more space, but they need to really get, you know, the inside line. Josh Call, Darrell Clinton need to get on the ball.
Haven't got any ball at all.
They haven't really
but it's been
got
stopped.
any
It's
ball.
been stemmed out the field, Eddie, I suppose, as well.
Like we said pre-match that the top players will have to stand up. Like Alan Cox, in fairness, drove Delvin on for the last 15, particularly after the first water break. Alan Cox stuck in the game. He drove on, got a couple of scores himself, and got ball inside. But now it's up to, we need Josh Call, we need Clinton. They need to step up, like, and really drive it in, like, and they need to go for goals from the start. They need to go for goals.
Yeah. And I see they're getting ready here, getting a couple of subs ready on the sideline. But look, it's a second half, I suppose. We didn't expect it to be that much of a gap between it. 5-8 to 9 points, and
look, we're
going to an ad break here. We'll be back with you on commentary. Paul, you'll be running back up the stairs again. Eddie, you and I can enjoy it in peace up here, but for the moment we'll go to an ad break.
Sevens Coaches, proud sponsor of Westmeath GA Hurling Championships.
TEG, proud sponsors of TEG Cusick Park, serving aviation, biopharmaceuticals and medical industries across the globe. TEG has been to the fore in the fight against COVID-19 with our customers and partners. A local business employing local people. Visit teg.com/careers to learn more.
Let's go over. Come out the ends.
Back here for the start of the second half here, and certainly, Paul, as you were down there on the side of the pitch here, the Delvin team certainly broke very early from the huddle. I suppose as the manager down there, what do you do when you throw the kitchen sink at it at this stage? The ball is thrown in, but it is Jack Galvin who has the first possession for Cullion. Delvin trying to slow him down, ball into the hand of Robbie Gillen, but Robbie's blocked down, but Jack Galvin is still there trying to get possession. Ball flicked out here into space, pulled on the ground here, but again ball moved up along the field, but Robbie Gillen, he's picking up an awful lot of ball for his side here. The ball down this side of the field. Jack Gillen, he's out in front of his man. The changes galore on the Delvin side here. I see Aaron Fenlon gone from 15 back into the corner back position. I see Killian Murphy gone out the field, and Dean Ennis has been introduced. I think it's Paddy Kelly, the man that he has replaced. Dean wearing the number 17 jersey. But we'll watch. This line ball is back here, halfway between the 20 and 45 metre line. It's going to be taken by Alan Cox. Alan cuts it high, but again broken down. Delvin, plenty of bodies around there, need to get on the ball. Darrell Clinton gets it up into his hand, comes forward, has a little bit of support. Killian Murphy going for the ball, again goes to ground, but again he's swarmed by two Cullion men straight away, and no help coming into him. Cullion trying to get the ball up. Again, right in on the 20 metre line. Dean Ennis is in there fighting for, trying to get a hook there, but the ball is clear, but not very well, because Alan Cox has it again, having his hurley held. He felt, but he still has to work hard to get the possession. Back to Paddy Farrington. Paddy gives it off here now as far as Conor Dolan. Conor going through, gives the hand pass out to Josh Collin, the referee.
Through the ball, I think.
Throw a ball, didn't think it was myself, but referee is closer to it. Matt Shawn signals end of that little bit of pressure there by the Delvin at the start.
Delvin could have done with a score coming out of that now. Dad really brought the intensity level up just there in the first couple of minutes since we come back in, and it'll be nice to see them get a reward for it, but it's a free for Cullion now.
James Clark with the free, and he's dropping it in towards the 20 metre line. Players losing the sun. Owen Foxlow doesn't, he's onto it, and Owen has his hurl held there by Frank McGran. An opportunity missed at one end of the field, and I'm sure Jack Gillen won't miss this one. Jack won't miss this one. 3 goals and 5 points to his name. That's some score for a half time of a county final.
Some score for any game, never mind a half time. No, it's just like everything Cullion good have done. He's just got the ball in his hand. He's either laid off a pass or put it over the bar himself. And I was saying at half time, I really thought Jack could have a huge impact in the game, but I thought it'd be through his frees. That's only the third free he scored in the whole game.
Yeah,
and that's surprising.
Yeah, first puck out into the breeze for John Shaughnessy as he fires it out, looking for Alan Cox in the centre. Alan gets it into his hand, turns away from a little bit of tackling there, does very well, flicks it over the top and then flicks it on to his midfield partner Paddy Farrington. Paddy trying to get space to swing the stick on it, but again great reading in there by Conor Shaw. Conor a little bit casual there, gives it back into the sweeper there. Robbie Gillen put Robbie under severe pressure. Delvin trying to get the possession, they have the possession. Ball is given now to Dara Clinton. Dara shortens the stick, takes the shot, we're right behind it here, and that one gone outside the upright there, and that certainly was an opportunity that Delvin needed to take there, but not taken. Damien Golden, we'll see what kind of distance he gets on this. His first puck out with the breeze on his back. In the blue jersey, back on our left hand side, fires down, he's dropping it inside the 45. Up goes the hurl, broken down. Who's on the breaking ball? Kevin Regan. Kevin couldn't get it into his hand, but Brian Stones is there to help him. And then Kevin tries to roll lifted. Couple of players very, very close to the sideline. Frank McGrath very, very close to the line, gives the ball inside, but manages just to give it to Kevin Regan. Kevin back as far as Jack Galvin. Jack from the sideline takes a shot, and the umpire will signal that one is to the right and wide there. Jack, he knew as soon as the ball left his stick that it wasn't on target. The puck out is already taken, and Owen Carlin, he has it, but Owen fires it aimlessly down the far side of the field, and it's well intercepted there by Conor Regan. Conor gives it down here, and the centre half forward is Andy Connaughton. Andy gets it inside where Brian Stones has caused all kinds of trouble all through this game, and he's at it again. The Delvin struggling to get that ball away. Aaron Fenton, he's back there, he hasn't been dealing with it. John Shaughnessy, he's the goalkeeper, he's trying to get it out again. Cullion fighting for it again. Delvin back, control not what it needed to be, and Owen Fox has it, and Owen comes across and gives a hand pass across. Two Delvin players almost get in each other's way. Kevin Regan, Kevin coming out, tries to flick it back, and Alan Cox picks it up, steps inside the tackle and drives it long down the centre it goes, but again great covering there by Conor Shaw. Conor hand pass straight off as far as Robbie Gillen. Robbie into the handoff, Patrick Clune. Patrick looks up and sees that Paddy Farrington is in space. Paddy, nice ball inside. Delvin trying to work it in as far as Dara Clinton, but again great play by James Stark. James wins the possession, fouled, hurled around the neck as he came out with the ball, and the free out is going to be for the Cullion men. There's a sub being introduced down below as it is Shane Brahan wearing the number 10 that's about to be introduced. Was there a little bit of after there, Paul?
There could have been, but I don't think anyone saw it.
Andy Connaughton is the man that's making way. Shane Brahan, he was listed at the number 10 position but didn't start, but he's been introduced here now. Play will resume with this free for James Clark for Cullion. Long ball into the corner. Owen Fox got a hand on it, doesn't hold on to it, gives it back as far as Jimmy Kelly. Jimmy does well, gives it back out to Shane Brahan. Shane's introduction, and the shot comes in, and another inspired substitution there by the Cullion men. Shane Brahan fires that one over the bar. The puck out is already taken. Coming forward is Dean Poynton. Dean going into the centre, needs to move this ball away, can't take in the hand again, and then his attempted hand pass is intercepted almost by Conor Regan, but he's on it again and fires it in. Long ball to nobody in particular, and James Clark comes out. James leaves it behind him, but Delvin not able to capitalise just yet. Josh Codd is trying to get in there. The shot then does come in. Josh trying to get it into his hand. Dara Clinton, Dara coming centre, takes the shot, but again numbers there and great defending there by the Cullion men. The goalkeeper is Damien. Damien gets the ball out again, and Delvin trying to keep this possession on, need to get a goal, they know that as well, so do Cullion. They're dropping back, and a little bit of a wild stick there on one of the Cullion men there as he had got the possession, and I think the referee might be having a word with one of the Delvin players. In fact, Matt Shaw has been nice and cool about it. I don't think he's going to have a word with anyone. I thought there was a little bit of a wild stick there.
There was a wild pull, all right, but I have to say, Delvin will come out with a lot more intensity, getting a lot more ball in around the Cullion goal. But Conor Shaw has been fantastic in there. He's got a couple of hooks, a block. He's really put his body in the line, come out with the ball a number of times, and he's really been pivotal for Delvin, or for Cullion, I should say, in terms of just their defensive performance all through the game.
Yeah, and Robbie Gillen has dropped back in out of the middle of the field as well. He's helping in there, and Jack Galvin then has come from the half forward line. So those three experienced players have really,
Well, I think that Delvin haven't really coped with that. No. So, like Cullion set up, particularly in the first half, created an awful lot of space inside by dropping, every player back a line almost, and Delvin haven't been able to cope with that so far.
Yeah, from the free from James Stark was hit long. Jack Gillen came out and got it, but Delvin backs managed to get him out over the side, and it is going to be a line ball just outside. They're about 25-26 metres out. Alan Cox, he's back to take this line ball. He looks forward. Again, looking for somebody to make themselves available. He drives it low, but again, this Jack Galvin. Jack let the hurl slip out of his hand there just as he was trying to control the ball, and it goes off that out over the side, and line ball here right on Delvin's own 65 metre line. Alan Cox has just come forward to take this one again. Cuts it in, but again, brilliant fetch there by Robbie Gillen back there, and just clears it out first time. But every time it comes into this half of the field, the Cullion forwards are on top on his own Fox, and Owen then tap in he over
really
the shoulder
won that ball well under a lot of pressure. Beautiful. Lovely little pick.
Yeah, certainly that full Cullion forward line have the beating of the man, every one of them, and every time the ball comes in there seems to be trouble. If it's not Owen Fox, it's Jimmy Kelly. If it's not Jimmy Kelly, it's Jack Gillen. Jack is going to come out and take this, and Shane Brahan has been introduced. He's already got a score, and I expect that Jack will punish Delvin to the full here with this one as well, right on the 45 metre line. 5 goals and 10 points for Cullion, 9 points for Delvin. 9.5 minutes gone in the second half as Jack, he lifts it and he strikes it and he cuts it straight over the bar. Lovely score there again from Jack Gillen, and certainly leading by example. There's another sub coming in for the Delvin men, is wearing the number 20 there is Roscap. 20 is Brian Herward. See, Brian is coming in. We'll wait to see who's making their way off. No one has come off yet,
Paddy
but
Poynton.
The signal has come that it is Paddy Poynton as the man has been coming up. Play underway. John Shaughnessy with the puck out finds Alan Cox on his own 45 metre line. He wins the ball and drives it long, but again 3 against 2. Cullion back in there. Delvin trying to get the possession. They can't because Jack Galvin has it, and Jack launches another mighty ball, dropping it right down here. Jack Gillen, I think Jack lost that one or it was Brian Stones, I think he lost it in the sun, and then Jack Gillen coming out behind him fouls his man there, and it's going to be a free out for John Shaughnessy. Out from the goals, ready to take this one. Needs to get it down the field. Needs to get it down as quick as he can. We've just almost 11 minutes gone in the second half. The free, almost disaster there for the goalkeeper. Put the corner back there with the corner forward. Aaron Fenton under severe pressure. Kevin Regan is onto it in a flash, and Cullion have the ball again. The ball given out to Shane Brahan, and Shane with the shot. And this time, unfortunately for Shane, can't get it on target. The ball is out over the end line and wide, and John Shaughnessy had already taken the puck out. Delvin yet to register a score in the second half. They're trying to get out of their own half back line here, and the ball is eventually fired across this side of the field. Killian Murphy allows it to run on to Dara Clinton. Dara has a look at the post. Dara with the shot, but unfortunately for Delvin and for Dara, that one tails off left and wide, and we're now almost 12 minutes gone in the second half, Paul, and Delvin haven't really done much to close the gap.
No, they haven't scored in the second half, and probably didn't score for the 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 4 or 5 minutes before half time, and you just can't go for a stretch like of nearly 15 minutes without scoring. And particularly in the situation they're in, the scoreboard, they need to be scoring regularly.
Damien Golden with the puck out here again down this side of the field, looking for Brian Stones, and Brian, as he was going for the ball, he was giving up on it because Frank McGrath had come across and flicks it out over the side, and again given possession to the Cullion man. Jack Galvin is coming forward to take it. Jack probably will fancy having a cut at this one. We've seen him doing it before. Line ball is about 25-26 metres out. Jack wait and see, is there anyone making a run short, and then decide to have the cut at it. Gets a good height in it, but unfortunately, as I said in the first half, Paul, they're great when they go over the bar, but it can be deflating when you want them dropping in around the goal. But I don't think Jack will be too overly worried about that one.
No, not at all. It was well worth the cut. It's the wind actually, probably if he was going the far side of goals, he might have got it on target, or at least put it into the danger area.
Yeah. Patrick Clune has taken the puck out short from his goalkeeper, and he goes long with it. There's about 5 or 6 purple and blue jerseys in there, and they win it again and pull on the ground, and Shane Brahan is on to it. Shane steps inside, probably was fouled, and then the referee signals that he threw the ball there, and
he's unfortunate there. I thought he was tripped as he threw it.
Yeah. Free. Johnny Hybrid thought about taking the free, but then it looks like Alan Cox is going with it, and Delvin very much in disarray here now. Alan, at this stage already, they're dropping it in short. It bounces inside, no one to deal with it there, but Conor Gilhooley, and Conor just pulls on it out towards the side and get it away from the danger area. But the pressure is still on there because Killian Murphy, he has the ball. Killian was fouled, I think. Hand to the helmet there, and the free is going to be for the Delvin men. But at this stage, Paul, you're better off to get the scoreboard ticking, get a couple of scores, trying to get a bit of momentum, or do you just keep hoping and dropping balls in?
And it's turned over. It's too early to be doing that. Just get a bit of momentum and see how the game opens up. With Cullion have so many players back, like creating a goal opportunity is going to be really next night nigh impossible.
Yeah, Josh Call eventually comes in here and puts an end to a little bit of scrappy play, and he fires it across, but again, often the loose ball, and it's Conor Regan, he's the first to react to it, and he's already gone out towards his own 65, still carrying it forward, and his brother Kevin comes off the shoulder. Kevin looks up, lovely ball inside, looking for Jack Gillen. Jack knocks it down in front of himself, and he's on it again, has time to have a look around, spins around, takes the shot, and the signal from one umpire to the other is to say that was a right over the crossbar. Beautiful economical play there by the Cullion men. You know,
just the work from Conor Regan out to midfield, pop it, good pass in, Jack controls it and strikes it back over his shoulder over the bar. That was a beautiful score.
Yeah, the puck out hung in the wind, broken down, and one Fox is on it as well. He's heading for goal. He's heading towards the 20-metre line, off the stick. He strikes it and gets it in and gets it over the bar. Owen Fox with his first score of the game of the day. Beautiful score it was. Just pushes that lead out for the Cullion men as Patrick Clune has it, moves it on to Paddy Farrington. Paddy drives it in, looking for Dara Clinton. Dara under severe pressure here, ball goes off the Cullion man. It's gone out over the sideline. Robbie Gillen was there, James Clark was there, but it's gone out over the sideline. It is going to be a line ball. Dara Clinton is going to take this, and certainly Delvin need to get numbers in there if they are going to go for a goal. He needs to get this in here. Again, not the best cut in the world, and Conor Regan reads it again, gets the ball under control and comes out with it, and has support there from Shane Brahan. Shane shortens the stick and fires the ball where Jimmy Kelly is a willing runner out in front of his man. He has the ball, gets the ball away. It's a tussle here again between Brian Stones and Frank McGrath. That's what has happened throughout most of the day. Brian Stones wins that tussle, gives a nice ball off. Kevin Regan is on the charge. He's already gone towards the D. Kevin has a look, takes the shot, and a lovely score there from the big midfielder. Came onto that ball and fired. I think we're at the third water break, but again, great economical play. I suppose the easy thing to say, because everything Cullion are doing today just seems to be paying off. You know, a little pass, Kevin Regan on the run, comes score, pushes that lead out again.
Yeah, and Cullion are just doing the simple things really, really well at the moment. Just winning the ball, passing the man in a better position, popping it off to the next fella, taking the scoring opportunity when it's there. And look, when you're that far ahead, it's easy to do those simple things well, but they're really consistently, like those last 2 points, probably two of the nicest points I've seen in a while. Yeah. Maybe easy done against a team who's probably chasing the game, and their energy levels probably aren't where they should be in terms of chasing down and tackling and so on and so forth. But it's going to be really tough last 15 minutes for Delvin.
Yeah, that third quarter failed to score when they really needed to get the scoreboard going and get it, possibly a couple of goals to get them back, get at least within touching distance, but failed to get that scoreboard going at all. And it's a lonely spot down there now at this stage. 15-16 minutes gone in the second half, and no score for that quarter. What can a manager say? And try and keep it going as best you can, but Cullion are hurling with confidence all over over the field, and everything they're doing, just seems to be going to hand and seems to be working for them.
Yeah, well, look, you just at this stage you have a choice whether you quit or you just try and win this quarter and win the next ball. And from Delvin's point of view, just be going out and going, let's see if we can win this quarter and resurrect something from it, and then see what happens.
But then, look, Paul, let's call it spade a spade. You can see from body language, Cullion come out of that break and they're on top of the ground. They're just mad for 15 more minutes of hurling. Delvin probably just want to get this over and done with and out of the way, because 5-14 to 9 points, 20-point gap. But I'm sure they'll keep at it. John Shaughnessy has taken the puck out. Conor Dolan gets the possession, gives it over to the far side of the field where Owen drives it in. Josh Coll trying to get on the ball, does well, catches it, but again gives the hand pass inside, and the numbers are there for the Cullion men, and they have possession again, but again lost again, and Josh trying to duck under a tackle there, holds the possession, but again he's been bottled up. Gives the hand pass off to Dean Ennis. Dean runs into another tackle there, and the ball breaks, and it's the Cullion men that win it, and they drive it down where Owen Fox tries to get the possession, but ball taken from him, and Aaron Fenlon has it. Aaron coming across his own 65, gives a little short ball out with that. Doesn't go to hand either, and there's a foot race here, and Jack Gillen is going to win it, and he has the ball in his hand. Outside the 45, turns, takes the shot in, but there's nobody in there to put any kind of pressure the goalkeeper, but the referee had been playing an advantage. Jack Gillen came out, he grabbed the ball, and I think he was fouled, and the free is going to be from the 45 metre line, and another opportunity here for the number 13. I make it 3 goals and 8 points to his name, and there wouldn't be short odds that he's going to stick this one over the bar as well, just inside the 45 metre line. Jack just taking his time. Clock is ticking away as he lifts it and he strikes it, doesn't catch it. Didn't think he caught all of it, but managed to get it over John Johnson's crossbar. And I think that made me typified everything that Cullion are doing today. It's certainly gone over the bar. But lovely score there. But this time, ball pucked out, going short. Whether Delvin go long or short, there seems to be a Cullion man on front every time to win the ball. This time it's given in. It's the 2 number 15s tossed in here with Jack Delvin. He comes in and he dispossesses it. Aaron Fenlon there. That's a fabulous score from Jack Delvin. 3 on the day for Jack. Great score there from the sideline, and that's the quality of Jack Galvin. That's the Jack Galvin we've seen here. That's that kind of form that brought him to the attention of the county selectors, and he did very, very well with that one. Short puck out, Conor Dolan, he fires it left-handed down inside, looking for Darragh Clinton. Darragh pulled it on the run, but Robbie Gillen just ties him up here now and gives away the free. He knows once the play dies that they'll have backs in there in front of it, will come out, and possibly going to be a yellow card here for I'd say Robbie, so. But kind of just held them up and prevented them moving forward, so definitely a pull back. The opportunity for Darragh Clinton. Delvin haven't scored in this second half yet, as Darragh stands over this one and he takes a shot, and that's the end of that stat anyway for today, because that's their first score of the second half, and it's coming almost 21 minutes gone in the second half, and really at this stage probably just a token gesture from the Delvin man. Damien Golden, he'll go along with it again. Runners coming out looking with the ball, dropping it down, going through 3 or 4 different players, and well read, and coming out of defence are the Delvin men again. Alan Cox very, very close to the side and gets the clearance away, but again it's the full back this time, James Clark. Great vision from James, and he sees that Kevin Regan has almost half a Cusick Park to himself over there, and he comes forward, and 3rd point of the day for Kevin Regan, for the team captain. And at this stage it looks like the Cullion men are just emptying the bench here. Brian O'Reilly, the latest man to be introduced. Jimmy Kelly. Jimmy lined out at number 14, didn't get on the scoreboard, but Jimmy always puts in a good shift for his side, and did it again today. Paul coming off here now, and really at this stage a chance for the Cullion men just to empty the bench and get players into this county final.
Absolutely, and to be fair to Jimmy, what he called his work rate off the ball in terms of turnovers, pressing Delvin meant, that it was really, really hard for Delvin to get a platform, particularly in the first half.
The ball is played down the line here. Dara Clinton does very well to Rob James Clark. Comes inside Conor Regan, has a look at the post, takes a shot, drops it in, it's dropping right in, but goes over the hand there of Conor Shaw, but the goalkeeper, he was alert, Damien Golden, he gets it away from the danger area, and they come out again, and Shane O'Connor, Shane turns, blocked down, ball breaks inside, Paddy Farrington is on it again, Paddy over the shoulder shot, takes a shot, but unfortunately for Paddy, not on target, that one out to the left and wide, and Damien Golden will be in no hurry. The clock said we've 23 minutes gone in this second half. 5 goals and 17 points for Cullion, 10 points for Delvin, as Damien goes long down the far side of the field. It goes Owen Fox, he's over there contesting it, and he has it in his hand, lifts it on front of Aaron Fenton, and then tries to head for goals, but Delvin have the bodies back here. That's Dean Point, and Dean gets the ball away, but doesn't find a teammate at the first attempt, but Paddy Farrington does come in and he gives it inside here. There's a chance for Delvin to get that ball inside, delivered in long there by Brian Hayward, but again 3-4 Cullion backs in there, 1 Delvin forward, and it's the Cullion men that come out with it. And they come forward. Conor Shaw, through the hands it goes. Kevin Regan, he's on the run all the time in the world to look up and fire a lovely crossfield ball, looking for Jack Gillen. Goes off Jack's hand, but he's still there fighting for it, gives it inside. Frank McGrath's under pressure, but Frank deals with it this time and gets the ball away, but again to nobody in particular, and it's going to go very, very close to the sideline. Jack Galvin keeps it in play, and lovely skill from Jack there. Lifted, didn't take it into the hand and had the shot on it, but unfortunately not on target, as Cullion used the opportunity to bring on another sub, Stephen Burke. Stephen Burke, the latest man to be introduced. Again, Shane O'Connor, the man that was been taken off again. Good shift from Shane. And he comes off at this stage with 5.5 minutes on the clock. John Shaughnessy again with the puck out, tries to find Patrick Clune, but it's picked up here by Conor Dolan. Conor looks around, strikes the ball across, but Kevin Regan reads that one all day, puts up the hand, then throws a nice dummy, holds the possession, and then lovely skill trying to get it here to Jack Galvin. Jack has the ball, looks like he was being fouled, still has the possession, gives a nice ball on to Owen Fox. Owen bounces into a tackle there, gets the strike away there. It's inside. Brian Stones, he's been a thorn in the side of these Delvin backs all through the game, but his time doesn't get the possession because Owen Carlin steps inside, and Owen tries to give it a short ball out. It's intercepted. Brian O'Reilly gives it to Jack Galvin. Jack went for the goal, gives it inside. There's a chance for Owen Fox. There's a spare man still over the far side. It's the Jack Galvin with the shot, and a super save there by John Shaughnessy, low to his right there, deflected it over the crossbar. It could have been a hell of a lot worse there.
Yeah, no, that could have been. Jack definitely went for the goal, and the keeper just great dive and flicked it up and over the bar.
Puck out is taken, and Patrick Clune comes forward, goes central, little flick ball, but again doesn't go to hand there, and the Cullion swarming around, and they have it again. Pierce Shaw gives it off to Kevin Regan. Kevin holding the possession over on the far side, left-handed, drives it long. Jack Gillen has the ball in his hand as he heads towards the goal again. Shortens the stick. Thought about going with a pass across, eventually from an almost impossible angle off his left hand, fired across the front of the goals and out over the end line and wide. Puck out is already taken. Cullion are trying to make another sub, but the play goes on. Dara Clinton, he's in fighting for it, but again Conor Shaw has the ball in his hand as he goes out. Little ball on to Kevin Regan. Kevin is available all day over there on that far side of the field. Fires it, throws the ball over the head of one, I think it was Patrick Clune there, but Patrick drags him to the ground here. There is a sub being introduced here, number 8.
Brian Stones is replaced by number 17, Alan Doyle.
Alan Doyle being introduced here, and Brian Stones making his way off. And certainly, Paul, this man had a huge impact on this game right from that very start. He's an experienced, we'll probably call him a veteran at this stage, but his goals early on caused a lot of the trouble, and I think that's a reflection in the reception that he gets there as he makes his way off the field.
Yeah, no, I mean, particularly when the game was in the mix in the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes, he created the chaos and got on the end of things he got the 2 goals, but he also created, I think, one of the other goals for Jack in terms of breaking ball and so on. So, from his point of view, particularly the first 15 minutes, he put in an incredible shift.
From that free, right back in his own half-back line, Jack Gillen made the way all the way back, and he has fired it over the bar. There's another sub about to be introduced. The referee, I think the signal's coming that they're not ready to make that substitution yet. And the puck out will come from John Shaughnessy back on our right hand side. Again, against the wind, has no option but to go short. He has his man over there on the far side. That man is Owen Carroll. Owen comes inside and then plays it through the line. Low ball into Josh Coll. Josh gives it off now to Dean Point, and Dean carries it forward, but all the time they're carried in. The Cullion men are going back, but Paddy Farrington has this. Paddy, little hand pass into Dara Clinton. Dara again, couple of Cullion men around and tries to get the shot away, blocked down, and it's into the hands of Shane Brahan, and Shane over the shoulder, long ball down this side of the field where Brian O'Reilly, he's onto it on the 45. He has time to lift it and take the shot, doesn't connect on it the way he wanted, and it's straight into the hands of John Shaughnessy, and John from the goal line gives it out here, and Owen Carroll give it the hand pass off here as far as Dean Point, and Dean goes forward, but again being closed down, gets the strike away, in it goes, but again Cullion men are in there. Stephen Burke kicks it out in front of him. Conor Regan comes onto it, chopped there, said the referee by the number 17 there, that's Dean Ennis, and the referee said it was a chop and the foul is committed, and another sub about to be introduced here is the number 23. Stephen Early, the latest man to be introduced here, and it's Owen Fox, the man that makes his way off. Again, put in a shift for his side, but the free will be for Jack Gillen. Jack, he's back in his own half-back line again. He's already scored one from a similar distance. He lifts this one and he strikes it. This one is dropping in. Is it going to have the distance? It's going to be dangerous, but John Shaughnessy kept his eye on it, drops it into his midriff, and he gives it out to Josh Coll. Josh with the ball down this side of the field, asking a lot of Darrell Clinton, and Jack Galvin steps in front of him, but Jack trying to control the ball, tips it out over the sideline, and it's going to be a line ball for Delvin, halfway between Cullion's 45 and 65 metre line. As Cullion backs make their way back in, their intent not to concede a goal in this game. 5 goals and 19 points to 10 points. As Darrell Clinton takes the line ball inside, Alan Cox, he's trying to fight for Patrick Clune, is in fighting as well, for no one able to get clean possession on it. Again, all this is happening about 45 metres out, and then a chop by one of the Cullion men there, and the foul committed, and it's going to be a free. Paul, as we enter the last minute and a half of the additional time, what's your view on this game?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, just the purple patch that Cullion got in the first 15 minutes, scoring those 3 goals and really getting off the line, just really, that set the tone for the whole game against the wind. And, to be fair, Delvin never really came back from that. They did second quarter, they got back into it, started tagging on some points, and then just there was a couple of killer blows. I think Jack Gillen a goal in the point in the last 2 minutes of the first half just stretched the lead back out again, and really since then, we're looking at it, that's only the second point Delvin have scored in the whole match. Yeah, the whole second half, I should say.
The play has the better out there, and the ball eventually breaks to Conor Regan, and probably one of the best scorers of the game, and Conor has had a great game at the number 5 position there, and certainly earned that score for his side. And John Shaughnessy again, pressure on him on every puck out, because the Cullion men, they're swarming on him on the Delvin men every time he goes short with it, making life very, very difficult for them to get the ball out. But that is the last action of this Senior B final, and it's a glorious victory for the men from Cullion on a final scoreline of 5 goals and 20 points to Delvin's 11 points. Delvin bitterly disappointed, but great joy from the men from Cullion there, as you said, Paul, those killer goals, 5 of them in the first half, and there was no way back for them.
Yeah, no, it was really tough for them from that, and they just need to be tagging on point after point after point, try and get some momentum, and they just couldn't. It wasn't even that they were putting the ball wide, they just weren't really creating scoring opportunities, and maybe a little bit too early in the second half to start going for goals, where if they got a bit of momentum, got a few points, maybe Cullion might have got a bit rocky and could have got a goal opportunity later on, but that's been, I suppose, been harsh. When you're that far behind you, I suppose you really have to go for it and try and create a goal opportunity.
But look, from here in the commentary box, that's all from myself and Paul, but we're going to break for ads, and we will have post-match interviews and the presentation before we finish up here on ERVT from TG Cusick Park. So for now, we'll have a break, and join us after that for the presentation.
Okay, let's go. Seventh Coaches, proud sponsor of Westmeath GA Hurling Championships.
TEG, proud sponsors of TEG Cusick Park, serving aviation, biopharmaceuticals and medical industries across the globe. TEG has been to the fore in the fight against COVID-19 with our customers and partners. A local business employing local people. Visit teg.com/careers to learn more. Wishing all our GA patrons a safe passage through the championship.
There's a light, a certain kind of light that never shone on me. If I ain't got you, ain't got you, baby. You don't know what it's like, baby. You don't know what it's like.
All new Renault Capture SUV for all your lives.
2, 1.
Yeah, you're very welcome back here to TG Cusick Park at the end of what has been a particularly disappointed Senior B final between Cullion and Delvin. Disappointed insofar as that it wasn't really a contest. Is that fair to say, Eddie?
Wasn't disappointed if you're from Cullion.
No, absolutely,
They were outstanding today, an outstanding first half performance, and really drove on the second half. Delvin never looked like getting back into the game today, Paul. And I'm really Cullion, for me, I think next year it's all positive for them. What the senior really competed. If they played to that level they played today, that game was over after 15-20 minutes. They have a big future at senior, Paul.
Yeah, and look, you can only beat what's in front of you, and let's be honest about it, Paul. Cullion were excellent today, absolutely excellent, and Delvin had no match for them.
No, in fairness, the way they set up tactically, first of all, the shape they had playing in against the wind, they had a game plan in terms of how they were moving the ball through the lines, and even 5 minutes before the end, when the game was won, they were still doing the same thing in terms of there was no fellas going for massive pot shots, for scores from ridiculous positions, looking for their own thing. They really played as a team, really worked hard for each other, and their work rate and their stick work was really good.
Yeah, and Delvin just simply had no answer. From very early on we were expecting maybe a little bit of a burst or a little bit of a boost from it, and he said, but they never raised above the mediocre, Eddie.
No, Roy Race was there today. If Jack Gillen woke up this morning and think, what did he score today, Paul?
3-11. He scored double what the entire Delvin team scored on their own.
If Jack woke up this morning, I'm sure he'd have taken, say, 1-4, 1-5, maybe 6 points.
Yeah.
Come off a 3-11 in a county final. It's probably one of the greatest performances I've seen at this level at county in years, Paul.
And apart from that, Paul, from all the scores he got, he was the fulcrum of the attack as well, and we have to pay tribute. Brian Stones, I thought, at full forward, he got 2 early goals, but he was an outlet ball for them, which Delvin didn't seem to have at all, Paul.
No, I think in the first 10 minutes, Brian Stones actually gave them a platform by coming for the ball inside and snapping up the breaks and taking those goal opportunities when they came. But in the first half particularly, everything that Jack touched, it either set up a score or he took a score himself.
Yeah.
I thought coming in, I'd be talking about Jack Gillen scoring maybe 8, 9, 10 points from frees.
We thought that it'd be a free fest,
if Delvin didn't concede a lot of frees, Cullion might struggle. But Jack only scored 6 points from frees in the whole game. I think he missed one,
Missed the first one, I think.
frees. He missed the first one, put it wide, and the second one he took, it fell short, and it was batted in by Brian Stones for a goal. And as Eddie says, the kid had a phenomenal game, absolutely phenomenal game.
Yeah, and well
but I think there was other fellas who stood out as well. Like I think Conor Shaw was outstanding
back,
at the back, really mopped up an awful lot of stuff. And then Kevin Regan,
brilliant.
I thought
Kevin Regan was outstanding.
Kevin Regan outstanding today.
Yeah, and Jack Galvin, of course, at wing half forward, playing almost as a sweeper role.
Yeah.
But he knew the position, whereas Delvin drew back a sweeper. Myself and Eddie were watching at the start of the second half, 13 points down, and the next thing is we look out and there's a sweeper for Cullion on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? It just looked, it made no sense to me whatsoever.
I think a lot of credit needs to go to Pat Cleary and the backroom team. They got the calls right today from the start that the two boys inside the full forward line, they didn't go route one all the time, but they went in intelligent ball. It was played in front of them, it was played high, the lads won it. Like Pat Cleary, I think Declan Gillen was there, Dermot Brown. They got the calls right today, Paul, and they can take a lot of pride and a lot of claps in the back tonight.
Yeah, and from what I seen of them earlier on in the season, Eddie, like they definitely didn't play up to that sort of standard today. But you know, it's all about performing on the day. That's what it's all about. If you get to a county final, doesn't matter what has happened previous to this. We've seen that in the intermediate and the senior championship in the football particularly. Doesn't make any difference what has happened. It's what you do on the day that matters. And let's be honest about it. Cullion were on a different league to Delvin today.
Yeah, they just performed. I mean, look, the simple things in the game, they did really, really well. We talked about it before the game. They got the ball into the hand, they got their pickups right, their passes went to hand 99% of the time. And when the opportunities were there, they popped the ball over the bar. Delvin, in fairness, tried to do the right thing, but on a lot of occasions, the pass never went to hand. It was intercepted, it was flicked over, it was turned over, and that just gave Cullion a ton of momentum going forward.
Yeah, and they maintained that momentum. Paul alluded to it earlier on. Like they never stopped working from the start of even in the second half where the game was over. Let's be honest, the game was over half time. They still kept up that momentum. They still kept up that work rate, and right to the very bitter end, Eddie, they were still flying.
Like Cullion probably feel a little bit aggrieved they weren't brought senior there 2 years ago when they won an intermediate championship. Delvin are going down from senior last year. Really the hungry team today. Like Cullion were so hungry. In the first 5 minutes they won the difficult ball, won the hard ball, and they were going for it. With 5 minutes to go, they were still going for that ball. They looked a young, hungry team.
Hungry, that's the one word I said.
I said at the start of this, at the after-match, I think they can make an impact at senior. If they keep that level, they've got loads going for them.
It's a different level now, having said that, Paul, but at the same time, they've a lot to work with.
I know, absolutely. Like, I mean, you know, they had a fantastic game plan, executed it really well out there. They've got a lot of the fundamentals right. Yeah, they're going up a level, but you bring that energy and that focus and that discipline to how you perform, you can go an awful long way. And it's just a question of building from there. And you know, like the standard of hurling that they played today was not out of place, you know, with some of the senior games that we've seen at all. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, we're almost at presentation time here, so we're going to transfer you over, ladies and gentlemen. Frank Maskell, the county chairman, is about to present the trophy to the winning Cullion captain.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cusick Park. First welcome to our two teams, Cullion and Delvin. First of all, I would like to thank our referee, Matt Shaw, and his officials for an excellent game. Thank you, Matt. To the staff here in Cusick Park, the last few weeks, couple of weeks to come are going to be very, very busy for them. The place looks great. I'm sure you enjoy playing out there. Thank you all staff here in Cusick Park. To the sponsors, the Delvins have the unique honour of sponsoring all our major hurling tournaments. He may be gone home. He was here earlier on. 2 difficult years in transport with COVID for Slevins, but they honoured their commitment last year and this year. So thanks to the Slevin family. To both teams, congratulations first of all on reaching the final. Very, very competitive Senior B Championship this year. From start to finish, nothing between the teams. statisticians will probably correct me on this one, but I think today was possibly the biggest winning margin of any of the games that were played this year. Commiserations to Delvin. You are a much better team than you showed today. Today wasn't your day, nothing went right for you. All of us that have been involved in sport, we've endured days like that. But the best thing is, forget about them and come back better and stronger next year, which I'm sure you will do, Delvin. So keep the heads up. Today, without doubt, it belongs to Cullion. From start to finish, it was a tour de force from you. You were really magnificent. You were led by your wonderful number 8 in the middle of the pitch. Well done here. I can't hand over the cup with COVID seeing me, but I'm going to ask 2 men to lift it. It's the Mickey Power Cup. A great Trojan, great warrior, and a huge, very, very proud Cullion man. I'm going to ask Kevin as captain and Jack as grandson of the one and only Mickey to raise aloft the cup. Okay, gentlemen. Pages of a speech here for you. So I'll pass you over to Kevin.
I won't keep this too long because I can see a few lads on there already on the way to Clark. So just to Delvin and to the officials today, just thanks a million for a brilliant game, alright? Just to the Delvin team, you're an unbelievable team and you really have led the standard in this competition all year. And just fair play, so 3 cheers for Delvin, alright? And just to our brilliant management team, I'll try and get you all out to look at Pat Cleary, Declan Gillen, John Cron, Willie Brennan, Danny Maloney, Brad Hill, unbelievable SSC coach, Kimmy Murphy was there as well, and Fiona Keaton, the goalkeeper coach. Thanks a million for all the hard work you've done all year, and just 3 cheers to them as well. We'll see you on the card tonight.
7th Coaches, proud sponsor of Westmeath GA Hurling Championships.
TEG, proud sponsors of TEG Cusick Park, serving aviation, biopharmaceuticals and medical industries across the globe. TEG has been to the fore in the fight against COVID-19 with our customers and partners. A local business employing local people. Visit teg.com/careers to learn more. Wishing all our GAA patrons a safe passage through the championship.
There's a light, a certain kind of light that never shone on me. If I ain't got you, ain't got you, baby. You don't know what it's like, baby. You don't know what it's like.
All new Renault Capture SUV for all your lives.
And joined here by one player and mentor on the victorious Cullion side here, Dermot Brahan. I'll come to you second, Dermot, because first of all I want to have a word with Jack Gillen. Jack, we said there just off camera, I don't think you were expecting the victory to be as convincing as it was. That fair to say?
No, we played Delvin there in the second or third round and they bet us. We thought it'd be a lot closer. We had 2 or 3 points That's all we were expecting. Like, we kind of blew them out of the water there in the first half.
Yourself, 3 goals and 11 points is some tally for a county final. It's this morning you got out of bed. Were you expecting that to happen to you?
No, I don't think anybody expects that after the county final. Like, it's only stuff for dreams, like, so.
Yeah, I suppose really, Dermot, we'll come to you, Dermot. I know the amount of work that you put into that club out in Cullion was out there involved you for 1 year, so I know the work you put in, and even yourself, it's a great reward for all the hard work that you put in at underage, keeping the whole thing going. You almost been relegated last year and then back up and winning the Senior B, and now you look forward to joining the big boys next year.
Well, I was just thinking about there this morning on the way in. 20 years ago we dropped out of the Senior A after a 4-game battle over Harney. Harney are back in the senior final tomorrow, and fair play to them. Cullion are back where we want to be in the Senior A, and when I look at Harney, Casttown, Cullion, it's all down to developing young players and development and underage structure. We have a fantastic underage structure out there, and we're beginning to see the rewards for that. And any club or anyone that's looking at development, they have to go back to basics. It's not about developing your adult team. You have to start developing the underage and then get the conveyor belt going from there.
Yeah, but look, that's fine development, but you have quality players as well too. You have Jack, you have Kevin Regan, you have Jack Galvin, Robbie Gillett. I can go on and name them. Damien Golden, you made a goalkeeper out of him. It's been a great year for you.
Well, look, as I say, it comes back to developing players, and then if you develop enough players, the quality will come through. And I have to say, I've been involved with those young guys since they were under 8, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here today with them and let them enjoy the fruits of their work. They've worked hard since they were under 8. Some of them are only 21, 22, and it's fantastic for the club.
Look at Dermot, I'm going to let you go there, go over and join the celebrations. Dermot Brahan and Jack Gillen with a great tally for his side today. Congratulations to both of you, and go and enjoy the celebrations.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ray.
Yeah, winning captain or man of the match, I suppose, they're Jack Gillen, and I don't think there was any much doubt, Paul, who the man of the match was today. 3-11 in a county final.
You couldn't not give Jack
you
Gillen
couldn't not give it to him
after that performance. And, like, you know, we were talking beforehand, and like, when I was thinking about Jack, I was thinking maybe he'd score 8, 9, 10 points in a game if Delvin didn't really have discipline about their tackling and so on. But like, he only scored 6 points from frees.
Yeah.
And like 3-5 from play is a phenomenal.
And a constant threat, Eddie, as well, wasn't he?
Jack, the ball stuck when I went in there.
Yeah.
It stuck when, as I said earlier on, it stuck when I was in the air, it stuck when I came in on the ground. He was a handful for, I think they probably tried 3 different backs on him today. He was a handful for everybody. And the man was the perfect foil for him as well.
Brian Stones.
Brian Stones, a perfect foil for him there today. But you have to say the ball, there was quality ball going into him. Like, as you said earlier, the 2 guys midfield, Kevin and Jack, they gave good ball in.
Yeah.
But by God, did he win the ball. He picked up a ball here in the second half, was top class. So huge.
He won one up. He won one up in the corner here, where 2 men actually went for it. He still got to it first. Flicks it up over the shoulder and over the bar. Like tremendous skill, you know.
No, so there was 2 points. There was that one in the first half, Paul. There was another one in the second half. There was beautiful play. Worked the ball down the pitch. Put a beautiful ball in. He trapped it on the stick. Caught it low. Took 2 steps out and then back over his shoulder over the bar. That was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, and look at we'd like to commiserate with Delvin, but the bottom line is, lads, they just didn't show up today.
No, I was talking to some of them after the game. They're very disappointed with the performance. Never got out of first gear.
Yeah.
You know, we were saying earlier on, look, their big players needed to perform. Cullion had people to mark them, had people to pick them up. Cullion had their tactics right. We said about Pat Cleary there. We got the things right at the start of the game, and
the basics, Eddie. Yeah.
The basics, and just had the few bits and pieces right. And when we said there at the start, the big players perform, and today Cullion's big guns performed.
They did, and they're proud winners of the Mickey Power Cup, the Senior B Championship, a new title here. It's only been with us for the last couple of years, but there's no question or doubt about it. They were absolutely tremendous today, and we wish them very luck. And just while we're talking, we've talked about Pat Cleary, we're just going to switch over now. Ray has him here, and we're going to have a few words with Pat.
I'm joined here by the victorious manager, Pat Cleary. Pat, we spoke for a couple of seconds before the game, but I think how that game turned out in the end, I don't think even you could have expected to be so good.
No, look, that wasn't in the plan. We thought it would be a 70-minute game, but look, a few things went our way early on, and look, we were playing against a strong breeze, and when them things went our way, look, it took the pressure off us, and it did put a lot of pressure on Delvin. You know, that they were playing with a strong breeze, and we were 4 or 5 points up. That put you in a nice place. I personally always prefer to play against the breeze. I think it gives you a bit of time in the county final to settle, and that's what happened today. They came under pressure, and the pressure came off for us.
Look, on your team team selection, original team selection, I think you pulled a master stroke with Brian Stone starting, because he was a thorn in the Delvin backline right from the start. Could have had a goal before he got his first two even. And set up one of the goals for Jack Gillen as well. So he really was a master stroke for you today, I felt.
He was, and Brian had been injured for most of the year, and we never got a chance. And there was one thing we were probably lacking, was a target man, and we had him back today for the final. But look, I am so proud of the bunch of lads that they would have gone and put that sort of performance together in a county final. You're coming in and you're preparing a team, and you're hoping to prepare them the right way so that they won't be nervous on the day and that they will perform on the day. And that's what happened. I think we focused after the semi-final, and we done whatever we had to do for 3 or 4 days, and then it was hurling after that. And it's not always easy to do that in a county final, but they certainly did do it today.
Yeah, well, Pat, you're an experienced man. You've been round the block, and another medal in your back pocket as well. So I'm sure you brought that experience, and the Cullion players responded to your experience and to your knowledge and know-how.
Yeah, well, I think what I hope to bring, when I was asked to do the job, I looked at videos of them playing last year, and I knew they could hurl. And the one thing that I think I brought to Cullion more so than anything else that I think I would brought, and that was confidence. And I told them before we started that we were going to beat the relegation battle, and that we were going to win the county final. Those two things, and we'd be playing senior next year. Right. And that's what happened. And I think if you keep
scored more than you did in your career.
Telling young lads that, and eventually it gets into their head, and it is all about confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. But look at Pat, you certainly instilled plenty of that in that side. 5 goals and 20 points in a county final. Congratulations, well done. And you'll go back with bragging rights back to Offaly, back to Ballinamere. We'll be back over there to Tormention there in the next couple of days, myself and Vince Malloy and whatever. But congratulations, enjoy the celebrations here in Cusack Park.
Thanks very much, Ray, and much appreciated to yourselves. Thanks very much, lads.
Yeah, congratulations to Pat Cleary and his Cullion Chargers on an absolutely emphatic win here in the Senior B hurling final today. They go up to Senior next year. And Eddie, I suppose on evidence today, they could make a fist of it. Well, is that fair to say?
If you go on Delvin's performances at Senior, so last year's knockout game against Raharney, they were there 5-6 points. That puts Cullion in the mix.
Yeah.
And if they perform like that, I can see no reason. There's a top 4 in Westmeath hurling. To get into that top 4, they have every opportunity. They're young, they're fast, they're fit. If they've got the
and hunger, as they showed today, Paul, they're hungry as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And without a shadow of a doubt, on today's performance, they've no problems. But it's kind of like enjoy the moment now, and then you kind of come back after Christmas, and you just got to get the pick between your teeth and just lift every bit of your performance again, and be able to hit the ground.
And of course, the opposite applies now to Delvin. They have to go back to scratch after going back from Senior. I mean, it's a long road back. We spoke about this, Eddie, upstairs. It's a long way back for them.
Yeah, Delvin probably coming in with their heads down. When you look back on it now, it's easy look back back to the future, but probably their heads were down before the game today. And they have to really regroup, or it's like there's teams coming biting at chopping at the bit.
Very much so, yeah. And we've seen an intermediate final here with Plunkett and Ringtown, teams that will be absolutely biting at Delvin's heels again next year. And other teams that are going to be in the mix as well.
Yeah, well, Crooked would go back down, and they're not going to lie down and
nobody is,
and so Delvin have to regroup. Look, they've got a few months to think about it and regroup.
It's going to be a long winter.
It's going to be a rough weekend in the Valley to see them, Paul.
Yeah, a rough weekend in the Valley. But anyway, from TEG Cusack Park, that's all from us here from today, from our broadcast here. It's been a long day, but it's been an enjoyable day. My thanks to Ray Gavin on commentary along with Paul Ahern. My thanks to Eddie and Ollie Gallagher, and indeed everybody that was involved today. But today is Cullion's today. Today belongs to the men from out the Cullion Road here in Mullingar on a scoreline of 5-20 to 11 points. An absolutely tremendous win for the men from Cullion, and we congratulate them. Congratulations to Delvin. We'll see you again here tomorrow. We're live here on ERV TV for tomorrow's County Senior Hurling Final between Castletown Gagan and Raharney. Before we go, lads, prediction for tomorrow.
Too close to call, Paul.
Hold on. That fence is bending. That fence is bending, Ernie.
We thought that game was
bending.
Really close, and we got
you're tipping
wrong
today now, in fairness.
So I think I'll hedge my bets, and I think that one's too close to call.
What did Jack Gillen score again, Paul?
311.
Whoever scores, if anybody scores 311 tomorrow, that's my money on, all right?
If anybody scores 311 tomorrow, Eddie Casey has free drink from all night tomorrow night in Casey's. Is that fair enough?
100%.
That's it. So from us here on RVTV, it's been a pleasure to be with you. We'll see you again here tomorrow, but good day, Shif Slán agus Irviabu.
Seventh Coaches, proud sponsor of Westmeath GA Hurling Championships.
TEG, proud sponsors of TEG Cusick Park, serving aviation, biopharmaceuticals and medical industries across the globe. TEG has been to the fore in the fight against COVID-19 with our customers and partners. A local business employing local people. Visit teg.com/careers to learn more. Wishing all our GAA patrons a safe passage through the championship.
There's a light, a certain kind of light that never shone on me. If I ain't got you, ain't got you, baby, you don't know what it's like. Baby, you don't know what it's like.
All new Renault Capture SUV for all your lives.